All right, let's get started here. What's up, Vic? How you doing today? Just trying to see if I could figure out how to stream some music in the background, but I'm going to try that next time because I don't want to get copyright stricken today. And I'm good today, just hanging out waiting for hockey to start, and figured I'd do some sorting this morning and just hang out on stream in case anybody wants to hang with me. Let me put my headphones on just in case. Yeah, I'm just doing some sorting. Nothing groundbreaking this morning, but I figured I need to get it out of the way and might as well hang out with other people while I do it. Let's see. I think my video is looking okay today. Nice. Yeah, I have like a huge... Oh, sweet, my head doesn't get in the camera this time either. I'm like messing with new camera angles. I have like this big arm that's like hanging above my head with a webcam on it so I can do this overhead view. And when I was doing it last time, my head kept getting in the picture and it was driving me nuts, so I'm happy about this setup today. Would you recommend opening Prismatic? I don't know if I can ever like comfortably recommend opening Prismatic Evolution at this point, to be quite honest, because I'm like 500 something packs deep and I've gotten like one or two SIR or Evolution SIRs, so I'm a good example of saying no, you should keep it sealed because you're probably not going to pull what you're looking for. That being said, there's a very large chance that if I get enough people on a stream one of these days, I open the Pokemon Center Prismatic ETB that's in my background. I don't want to do it, but let's be honest, I really want to do it. When I open it, you'll open... What Prismatic do you have? Did you get the Sam's Club drop, or do you have like a ETB, or just curious if you have something that's actually worth a bunch or not? Oh, nice. So we have the same thing. All right. Well, that sounds like a deal. At some point, I'll probably end up opening it. I'm going to be honest. I am really bad at keeping anything sealed. So, like, every time I walk in my office, I think you've heard this on a stream before, but like that thing whispers to me and it's like, there's a god back in here. So, like, every single time I'm like, I got to open this thing. So it's probably good that I'm not working full remote after I start my new job, because otherwise I would definitely open that in the next month. That was like honestly one of the hardest things about working remote is once I got back into collecting, it's kind of all over from a productivity perspective. Because let's be honest, there were some days where I honestly think I would rather sort Pokemon cards than do whatever I was supposed to be doing at that job. But hey, that's probably why I got laid off. No, not really. I knew it was coming, which is why I wasn't putting a ton of extra effort into it. And thanks for the likes. I don't know who's liking right now, but I saw a couple people jumped in. What's up, Trent, Priscilla, Solitude, and I think I saw Pokey Chris in here a minute ago too. And Skip Gordon 7041. This is a BCW safe sort, so it's by the card supplier BCW Supplies. I think you can get it for $25-30 on Amazon. If I knew how to make an affiliate link for BCW, I would try to make my 3 cents off it, but I don't think they actually do that. But I did reach out to them because, as you can see, this tray isn't quite large enough to fit all the trainer cards and every single different energy type for hollow, reverse hollow, and normal cards. So that's how I personally like to sort my cards. I sent BCW an email the other day giving them a suggestion to make a large version of this tray. They said they really appreciate it. I said, people like this on my streams, so you should do it. And I think I'm going to need to get a little bigger before they start listening to me at that level. But I do like, I love this tray. Like, to be honest, when I was just sorting on my desk before and I was putting like cards in stacks, like, I think we've all tried to do that and then knocked a stack over and gotten really mad at ourselves and the fact that we had to redo half of our sorting. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this sorting tray. And like I said, it's BCW Safe Sort by BCW Supplies. And they really need to sponsor me because I talk about this tray every time I do sorting. I feel like I'm the only one who uses this tray so far, too. Let's see. Let me look at my chat again. Is my Mega Dream sealed? I ripped all my Mega Dream. I don't think I have any more now. And then I have Ascended coming next week, so that'll be exciting. I got a couple ETBs. One of them is for my the January or December through mid-February giveaway thing that I ran. But the rest of it is stuff I'm going to rip on stream / TikTok and YouTube Shorts. And then, have I sent cards to grade? Yeah, Julian, I actually have like 200 something cards with PSA right now. I got them all in before they raised their prices. So feel free to ask me anything about grading. I've done a ton of it the last few months. And I've learned a lot about the mistakes I've made and things that are good to know. I have all my tools here on my desk too. So if you're curious about that, let me know. And let me see. So Pokemon 2025, this is BCW Safe Sort. Let me see if I can put text on my screen. That might make it easier for everybody. Give me one sec. Add text. Create text. BCW call out. And sorting tray. BCW Safe Sort. Wow, that's very large. How do I make font smaller? This thing needs to calm down. What is it, like 500 point font? Whoa, that's now really, really small. That's why I can't have nice things. There we go, that's good enough. Just in case anybody's curious, sorting trays, BCW Safe Sort. And let me see what else I have. So have I drawn winners for the last one? Not yet, Vic. Y'all are awesome. I pretty much doubled my follower count on TikTok from the last entries. So there's like a couple thousand on TikTok that I have to go through. And TikTok, from a technical perspective, lazy loads comments. So I can't just look at the HTML and rip all the comments and then send it through AI. I have to do it like one by one, and it's not fun. And Julian, I do have a video about how to pack them the best. I'll give just a demonstration real quick. But if you look at one of my recent TikToks, there's actually a short that go to my profile and you'll see that it's on the title. It says and grading tips or something like that. And so let me show you a couple things. Okay, so these are the ones that I have set up for grading for sending into probably PSA recently. Anybody who is a regular on my stream has seen me pull these this week. And so the biggest thing is PSA in particular requires you to put it in what they call a semi-rigid card holder, which is one of these like Ultra Pro, or you can get them from Cardboard Gold, these like semi-rigid things. So they're not top loaders. They're made of a more flexible plastic, but they keep your card flat. And so that is a requirement. But the thing I do that's unique is I don't trust these graders not to break my card when they take it out of these semi-rigid card holders, because if you have ever used one of these, they're semi-rigid. And so it's hard to put things in and out of these without like bending a card, damaging it, nicking it in some way. So we're just going to use some BS card I have on my desk right now for this demonstration. But here's the difference on putting it in a normal penny sleeve, which is what PSA tells you to do, versus these easy grip sleeves, is you have this little lip on the top and it sticks out of the semi-rigid card holder. So you put this in the sleeve with the back part of it having the little like whatever called easy grip pull piece. Then just throw it into that semi-rigid card holder like this. And like I said, it can be a little tough to put these things in there, which is why I don't want the grater to pull it out by hand. And so because I'm doing this on stream, it's going to take me forever. So then you just push the card down well below that edge. And sometimes you have to like pull it back out and adjust it a little to get it centered in there so that it'll actually go all the way down. So this is the reason I use these, is because bam. Now, if you look, it's got this little pull tab thing at the top. So now when the grater unpacks this at PSA or wherever, they pull this little tab and they never physically touched your card to take it out of this thing. So that's the main reason I do that way. And then let me check chats again. So Pokemon 2025, as of right this moment, I'm not selling anything like on a TikTok shop. I'm thinking about maybe doing like mystery singles for like illustration rares and above, because I have a ton of duplicates from collecting. But if you're looking for a specific card, happy to chat with you on the side. Feel free to shoot me a DM. I don't know why I just re-sleeved this Reshiram. That was just for my own demonstration. And then while I have you, this is the other tool I use for pre-grading. You can get this on TikTok here. It's called Black Label Metrics, like grading tool or whatever. And you can put a card in there, but you can also hold it up against a top loader. And it's just like one of those measuring tools. As long as the edges are in the bold lines, then you can basically predict if a card could be a 10 from a centering perspective. Other thing I do a ton of is when I first rip a booster and I see a card that's in really good shape, I make sure very quickly to check the back for whitening in the corners and on the edges to see if it's even like worth considering grading. Because I sleeve my cards differently depending on if they're getting sent to a grader or not. If they're getting sent to a grader, they go right into these semi-rigid card holders with the little easy grip sleeves. But otherwise, I double sleeve them into a top loader if they're like an illustration rare or above. And so the TLDR of all that is what you're seeing me do today is organize the cards that aren't in the buckets of what I just said. So I've already pre-organized all the cards I'm going to send in for grading. I've mostly pre-organized all the cards that I would put in a top loader binder or one of my like boxes for top loaders. And so right now I'm just trying to clear my desk because I have like stacks probably about 7 to 10 inches high of cards that in like 10 different rows on my desk, and I need to just clean up my office. So that's what I'm doing today. And let me see what else. What's up, Snorlax Steve? Good to see you again. And does Pokecard bent? So if your card is warped, I guess it depends. Like I would, if you have a really, really warped card, I would highly suggest that you use one of those dehumidifying packets to flatten it out, because most of the cards, if they're warped, are because there's a humidity difference between how the foil takes the humidity versus how the regular cardstock does. So there's a lot of videos online of how to do that, but I use them like a similar kind of humidifier tool for my guitars or my acoustic guitars. So yeah, just look up how to like get a card flattening humidifier packet, and you'll find them online in a bunch of places. But I would highly suggest, if you're submitting a card that has a little bit of like a bend from like that humidity warping for grading, that you do that ahead of time, and then once the card's flattened out, immediately do that process in the semi-rigid card holder that I just told you about. And yeah, this is like every Pokemon collector's desk, I feel like, but I have been ripping so much and like doing so many lives because I realized I unlocked a cheat code with how I do content creation, where lately I rip packs on live, but I have a second camera that's recording it for higher quality for TikTok shorts and YouTube shorts and stuff. And so I've been ripping a lot more packs a lot more frequently than I had been before. Also because I was unemployed for a little while. I got laid off from a tech startup, and then I found a new job. So I'm going to be honest, I had some money sacked away, so I took all the money I got from unemployment checks and spent it on Pokemon. Not all of it, I'm kidding, but that would be pretty funny. And let's see. Yeah, I told you, Vic, that ETB, it's going to call your name until you open it. And it's like one of those movies, like those like Indiana Jones movies where like the evil like artifact like calls out to the bad guy. Except in this case, we're the bad guy because we're going to open that ETB. And let me see. Data Scolios. And 2 cards, 1 to try a grade, send 1 to tag and 1 to PSA. Yeah, so Julian, I'm actually going to be doing a video, probably a longer form one on YouTube, but I'll do a clip for TikTok that I'm going to try doing a grading at tag soon. So I just showed you the cards that I plan to submit to PSA, but I want to try tag because PSA's pricing got so high. So I just took some cheaper cards that are in good shape, and I'm going to send them over to tag just to see how the process goes, and then I'm going to document it because I know PSA's process really well, so I want to see what the same kind of quality would get at tag. And I personally am not a fan of CGC. I don't trust them after all that drama like a year or two ago where they authenticated and graded fake playtest cards from like before Pokemon cards were released, and I just think that's disgusting, and how do you trust them after that? Let's see. And Skip Gordon, sorry for the delay there. So I'm just sorting by energy type. If I get bored enough one day, I might go back and sort by set and then try to organize them each by number in the set. But honestly, that's overkill because I use the BCW, like the cardboard boxes that you can fold and make into like a 500 card like bulk holder. I just have a bunch of those sitting in my office closet, and they're all labeled by date. So if I ripped a bunch of Prismatic in Q1 of 2026, then I generally know when I ripped a bunch of packs, and I can more easily find like the era in which I ripped packs. If I rip anything vintage, I take the bulk and I put it in a separate box as well. Let's see. Yeah, I don't. CGC to me is the sketchiest out of all of them. I know that PSA has gotten a bad rep lately between their pricing and a couple things that looked like they were doing something pretty questionable. It sounded to me like that viral video where the guy had claimed his grades were changed. It was either a bug or I don't know. I'm not 100% convinced I believe that one was 100% truthful. But like there's 100% proof that CGC graded pre-release or playtest cards that weren't actually from that. Like they weren't real. They were literally printed in 2024. And all it took was like some printer nerd to be like, hey guys, you just graded fake cards, you morons. So yeah, I don't trust CGC. And it would take a lot for me to trust them after that. Like that's just embarrassing. If you're going to be one of the like top 3 or 4 graders in the country or in the world, you can't make that big of a mistake. And somebody lost millions of dollars due to their mistake. So, and I'm gonna guess that they didn't give somebody their money back for all of that BS. And tag is better. Yeah, even tags like bulk grading tier will at least give you more reasons why that something didn't get a 10 than PSA just sending you back a number. And you have to pay in order to get a reason why PSA didn't give you a 10. You basically have to pay for the express tier or above, and so you have to spend 150. I think it's even more now that the prices went up again, but at least $150 to grade a card to get a reason why it didn't grade well. If I'm spending $150 on grading a card, I better have pre-graded it, and it better be a 10. Because one of the only ones that I did that for was when I first started out with learning how to grade, and I didn't know how to pre-grade very well, and I sent in a gold Mega Lucario from Mega Evolution that was it came back an 8, and that was devastating. So ever since then, I learned a ton, and then I graded the only other one I've paid for express level for was a Mega Charizard that I was guaranteed. I'm like, this card is perfect. If this doesn't get a 10, I'm going to I would have rioted. Let's see. And yeah, tag is the one that gives you more reasons why something doesn't grade as high or why it did grade as high. And then if you pay for the higher tier of tag, it'll actually give you a inspection report on how many little details that another card had that were more perfect in the ones they've graded so far. So I do like that about them. And would I ever send a card for a black label? I don't know. That's the hardest one to get, is between that, I would say that and Pristine 10 from CGC, but like I said, I wouldn't try to send it to CGC. But yeah, a black label from Beckett, I don't know, maybe that Charizard that I had, I'm just not confident enough in all the details. Maybe if I buy one of those digital microscopes one of these days, I'll consider it. But that's what you have to do if you want one of those black labels. It's you have to have a magnifier on your desk where you can actually see up, down, or down to the pixel. Is everything perfect on that card? Set first, then energy type, then numerical order. Yeah, this is just me sorting bulk. If I was master setting any of these, I'd be a lot more detailed about it. So right now it's just I need to put these somewhere, and this is the fastest way to get them into boxes where I can go and find things more easily again later if I need to do more detailed sorting. But my other problem is I open so many sets at the same time that it's really hard for me to sort by set. Because in the past week alone, I've opened 5 or 6 vintage sets, but then also Journey Together, Prismatic, Mega Evolution, Phantasmal, so a couple Surging Sparks, and a ton of Destined Rivals. And so my stacks are all a mix of a bunch of it, especially since when I'm on stream, people will call out and be like, hey, I want you to open this bundle next. And so I'll go from Journey to Destined, back to Journey, etc. And open the pack, add it to app, sort by pile. I used to add all of my cards to Collector, but Collector's camera functionality is so bad that I gave up with it. Until somebody comes out with a mana box style scanner for Pokemon cards, I won't scan 100% of my cards like I used to. It was taking so long for me to get through that. Granted, I open an average of cards probably 10 times more than the normal person. I opened so many cards that apparently I forgot to take some double rares out of these buckets. Honestly, sometimes I find a hit that I didn't even realize I missed while I was streaming, which I guess is honestly a good problem to have. Oh no, I found a valuable card that I didn't notice before. A promo card. I can't ever get a promo card that doesn't have lightning lately. And let's see. Desk is chaotic. Pokemon cards. Star Wars. Yeah, I was opening Magic the Gathering and Pokemon at the same time for a while, and my desk was a disaster. I kind of leaned away from Magic the Gathering because it's so expensive to collect, and I don't have the patience to play it as a game. And so there's just a couple Universes Beyond sets that I'll still probably collect, mainly the Star Trek one later this year. I'm going to go nuts for that set, though, just for the art. Let's see, what else? Yeah, Knights of Hades. This is the... oh, yeah, I forgot I put the name up now because everybody keeps asking about it. But, yeah, I love this one. And like I was saying earlier on the stream, I actually reached out to BCW and gave them suggestions for at least how I use this tray, how they could improve it, which is basically adding another row on the bottom and another column to the right. It's still a great tray though, like versus not having anything especially. I don't know how many of y'all have either do right now or have before, like just sorted in piles on a desk or a table. Like not a good time. And I've kind of timed myself with using this sorting tray versus just putting them in piles, and it makes me like almost twice as efficient as well. Especially if I get in the groove like right this second. Now that I said it, I'm gonna jinx myself and drop a card in the wrong slot. And do I have singles from X and Y for sale? I don't really have much from X and Y at all right now. But if you're looking for something in particular, like feel free to DM me. I can always try to help you find it. Because I do talk to quite a few people on this app these days when I'm on my streams. So I don't mind connecting people and trying to help people find stuff for their collections. But yeah, I just got back into collecting in like August of 2025, so most of my stuff is pretty minty fresh new sets. I've opened less than 50 packs that are before Scarlet and Violet since I got back to collecting so far. Just because I ain't paying all those scalper prices, and if I do, I want to use it for content and like my own version of the should I open it or should I keep it sealed type stuff. The answer is with those vintage packs, like generally always keep it sealed, but I'm a rip everything person, so follow me if you like to see people rip stuff and lose their shirt in value, because that happens to me quite often. That being said, grading usually kind of makes up for it, but with the price increases lately, it's harder and harder to justify that. Let's see. Swing books are... Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a specific bulk one, DM me. I have another guy that's specifically looking for Psyducks and Lechonks. I just haven't gotten a chance to sort through all my other bulk yet to get what he's looking for. But it's not like I can sell this stuff like at scale. So if people are just looking for stuff, pay me some shipping, and I will find it eventually for you. Let's see, and thanks for sharing the live, Knights of Hades, appreciate that. And thanks everybody for following and commenting so far, appreciate y'all. Just having a nice chill Sunday morning here, doing some nice chill sorting of cards. I'm waiting for USA Hockey to come on in a couple hours. I should probably do some work on the startup I'm working with too, that I'm doing a side project for, but... honestly, I've been feeling so procrastination with that sort of stuff lately. I might just wake up at like 4 in the morning and do all the work at the last minute that I owe everybody. And sounds good. Thanks, Steve. I will take a look once I'm looking at TikTok in the next day or so again. Let's see. And wish there's recycle. So, ask your local shops, Julian, about if they have any interest in bulk, because some of them will pay you by either the card count or the weight, and it's not a lot of money, but it's like a few bucks at least. So if you have as much bulk as I do, like either do that, or I would say donate it, but I feel like honestly it's kind of mean to donate it, because then you're like, hey kid, you want all these cards that are like not any of the cards you care about, and then that's like kind of I imagine being the kid, like, yeah, I want your Pokemon cards, and you give them, and it's all these like the best thing is a regular holo. I'd be wrecked. Oh, that's cool though. If you make like your own like kind of repacks, that's cool, especially for kids that like just want to open something and like don't know the value of the cards yet when they're younger. Like that seems like a really good way to do it. Although I met up with another content creator on here a couple months back here in Vegas when he was in town with his family, and his son's probably 8 years old, and that kid knew the value of every card like as good as his dad did. I was so impressed. Like he's like, oh, we got to sleeve that card. That is a good hit. And I was like, damn, this kid knows his stuff. Super polite kid too. Like I've never met an 8-year-old that was that well behaved, but his parents are military family, so that makes a lot of sense. He was very well structured. Let's see. Make homemade rip packs. Oh, that's a good idea too. if I could find an automated way to do that, I would totally consider it. The packing effort, it has to be pretty high. Yeah, and honestly, I think the first thing I might start doing in the future for like selling cards is like being like a very small vendor at card shows. And if I go that route, I'll like do like repacked style thing just to give to kids for free that are at the card shows. Let's see. Item. I am very excited for Ascended Heroes this week. I'm finally going to get some more shipments in for Ascended. I've mostly tried as hard as I can to not pay scalper prices, and especially since right now the like average cost per pack seems to be around almost $15 to $20 a pack for Ascended. That's insane. So I did find a box of tins, like a whole entire like case of tins, or one single case of like, I think it's either 8 or 10 tins for what seemed like an okay deal. So I grabbed those, and then I'm gonna wait in some lines this week. I'm gonna do Walmart on Wednesday and Thursday if they don't restock on Wednesday, because Walmart here in Vegas is MJ Holdings does Wednesdays or usually. So gonna try Walmart on Wednesday morning. Gonna try Target also, and then I'll move on to Thursday for both those if I don't see any product. Friday I'm considering camping out at Best Buy, but there's so many scalpers in Vegas. I feel like if I do that, I'm just gonna be disappointed, and I'm gonna have to sit next to some of the worst human beings on earth. And none of that sounds enticing, honestly. And let's see what else we got here. Thank you, the Pioneer Post, for the follow. Appreciate you. And trying to figure out how to make cool looking custom sleeves. I think that there's companies online that can like, you can do custom sleeves, almost like you can do custom business cards. If there's not, I need to go figure out how to make that a business model, because that seems like a really good idea. And that's a good idea for Lunar New Year, which, oh man, isn't that tomorrow or something? I'm clearly a bad Asian because I don't know when Lunar New Year is, but let's be honest, if you're Asian, usually you find out when Lunar New Year is because it's like the day before, or one of your like really old relatives tells you it's coming up. And I was adopted as a baby, so I don't have really old Asian relatives. Let's see, where are we going with these? Gonna have to switch out some of these soon because I'm running out of space. It is Tuesday. Okay. Yeah, I would say like I'm really bad at following like those Asian culture trends, like when Lunar New Year is and stuff, but most of my Asian friends also probably don't know. Although that does explain why there are so many more Asians in Vegas this weekend. I mean, not that Vegas doesn't always have Asians anyways, but there was a lot more for this weekend. Gotcha, because that makes sense. It's easier to remember if there's something like specific to remember around that time of year, from a personal standpoint. Where are you in the country, Steve? I can't remember if I asked that yet. Delaware, gotcha. I used to live in Massachusetts, so not super close, but not actually that far away from Delaware either. I miss a lot of stuff about the East Coast. I mean, honestly, the thing I miss the most, though, is there's some really good food on the East Coast. Like, the food quality for certain things is so much better. Seasonal vegetables taste 100% better on the East Coast because they're grown seasonally and not in California 365 days a year where they taste like cardboard. And yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to play lo-fi music, specifically lo-fi music, because I like lo-fi for background music. The only reason I'm not doing it today, I tried to set it up before the stream, and I realized I have to download like a bunch of tracks off of YouTube's like Fair Play library, because otherwise I'm going to get copyright stricken on at least one of my channels. And so it was taking too long to pick out that stuff, so I'm going to get that set up this week. But yeah, I'm definitely going to do lo-fi though. I feel like it's the least intrusive sound, and if you don't like lo-fi, then like just you don't like me, so go away. Because it's like lo-fi is so unoffensive. It's just there in the background. It's like a nicer, more soothing form of elevator music that I would actually listen to in the car. Yeah, so I don't have Spotify. I have Apple Music, but I am also using OBS for my streams, so it complicates things a little bit. I could probably just spin up like a separate one right now just for TikTok, but they yelled at me for something already this week, so I don't really want to risk it until tomorrow hits. And then at least I can use Fairplay Music. Hey, look, I found a Full Art Trainer card. What's up, Noah? What'd you submit to PSA? Yeah, and that's the danger though, is because I'm sending OBS, Steve, to like 5 channels right now. And then I'm separately simulcasting a virtual camera version of the same thing to TikTok. I could probably do it just on TikTok right now, but it was a lot of work to get it to route the right way if I wanted to use something like Apple Music or Spotify and not have YouTube completely ban me, and Twitch. I'm also streaming to like Facebook Live too, so there's a lot of regulatory stuff that was going into it, and I'm like, I don't have the time to figure this out this morning, because otherwise I would still be figuring that out right now, honestly. It took me long enough to figure out how to get this set up to do okay on all my streams. And yeah, I'm running everything through it's an older MacBook Pro. This is the original M1 Pro model from like 2020 or 2021. It's still holding up pretty well. I'm gonna need to upgrade in the next year or two though, because I think it chokes on certain things with my streams sometimes, depending on how I have certain routes set up. So that's actually why I'm using it this way, is because before I was trying to stream everything directly to each RTMP endpoint, and it was putting too much overhead on my computer. So I'm actually paying to use Restream.io to send to everything besides TikTok, and then I'm using a virtual camera instance from OBS to send to TikTok Live Studio directly. And Latios and Latios, ooh, what grades did you get back? Did you get 10s? What am I doing with all these promos? So go over here. Put my shiny cards. Put this Lechonk to the side for that guy who wants Lechonks. And let's see. Do I have a 151 Japanese Charizard? No, I have an English 151 Charizard that's a PSA 10. It was on my desk up until the other day. I switched out some of my graded cards that I was putting on display here. And oh, congrats! You got a 10 on both Latios and Latias. That's like this Latios that's in my background over here. If this guy was a 10, I think it's like a $500, $600 card. So that's epic. Did you pull that Latios yourself, or did you buy the card and then send it in for grading? And which side am I sorting? A little bit of everything. This is Paldea Evolved Energy. I don't even remember when I pulled that. Apparently I opened at least one pack of Paldea Evolved recently, and I forgot. And this is a promo. I don't know how that got in there. Phantasmal Flames now, so a little bit of everything. It's basically just whatever I've opened over the past couple weeks, which has been Journey, Mega, Phantasmal, ton of Destined Rivals, ton of Journey, like I said, 54 packs of Prismatic, which was the most depressing experience in the world, and then a bunch of vintage stuff that I'm not sorting today. Yeah, definitely a melting pot of sets. That's why I'm not trying to sort by set right now, is because I don't know. I'm not master setting anything currently, and I'm just kind of, I know like what era of time that I open certain sets in, so I'll probably just write a bunch of different set abbreviations on the box I put the bulk in for each one of these, and then if I ever need to find something, it'll take a little longer, but I'll find it pretty easily. Someday I might do like a massive bulk resort of things by set, but I open too much stuff to have the patience to sort by set right now. And yeah, that's true. At least for now. Watch them make some Snorlax that's like a fire Snorlax or something. That'd actually be pretty funny. Just wakes up and like breathes fire. What else? 73 packs to pull it. Honestly, that's pretty good. I have pulled more or opened more than 73 packs of Surging Sparks, and I have not pulled that Latios myself. I did pull Booty Pikachu, it just wasn't grade worthy, which is honestly so depressing. I hate pulling chase cards if they're like not grade worthy, because you're like, oh my god, I pulled the best card from this set, and you're like, oh my god, it's the most uncentered card I've ever seen. That's just always a bummer. I forgot there was like a dark and a grass type Snorlax. Oh, by the way, that whole like theory that Gengar is like the shadow of a Clefable or whatever, the Pokemon Company did a Valentine like card on Instagram yesterday, and it was Gengar holding Clefable's hand, looking like it's the shadow of Clefable, and it was something like we'll always be connected together or something. I thought that was interesting. Mega Snorlax, I feel like that's a realistic Pokemon to come up in this Mega Evolution era. And live in the bay. Oh yeah. The bay is filled with red envelopes. That's probably one of the highest per capita Asian concentrations in the country, if not the highest. There's a lot of Asians in Texas. Just different kinds of Asians. There's a lot of Vietnamese and Filipino in Texas. Yeah, a mega Electra. Some of the mega cards are ridiculous too. I'm like, why is this a mega card? And I guess they're not as weird as some of the VMAX cards. Like some of the VMAX cards I've seen, I'm like, this is the weirdest Pokemon. Like, who thought this was a good idea? Yeah, and one of my favorite places to visit for Vietnamese stuff is definitely Orange County, California. Just the Vietnamese coffee shops out there and all the pho places alone, so good. We have some pretty good Vietnamese food here in Vegas too, though. I like, there's quite a few decent pho places. We have, let's see, what else do we have here? I mean, overall, we have some really good Asian food. We have decent Korean barbecue. It's not going to be as good as LA's, but it's not bad either. We have amazing Thai food here. And then we have some like actually like local places for dumplings and like dim sum that are really good. And then obviously we're big enough and we're Vegas, so we also have a Din Tai Fung type thing. Mexican dating an Asian. That's funny. My one of my friends he's Korean and his fiance is Mexican, so just same situation, opposite sexes. Oops, wrong one. But honestly, like that's one of the things I kind of like about this hobby is I feel like this hobby is actually skews very minority. Like there's obviously lots of white people that love this hobby, but tons of Asians, both men and women, and then lots of other minorities too. So I just think it's cool because, you know, like that commercial that just aired for the Super Bowl, like it really did, this hobby does bring like people of all kinds of cultures together. Like sometimes on my streams, I'll get some random person from like literally across the world. Like I had a guy from New Zealand on my stream the other day. I had one from Australia on my stream the day before that. So I just think it's really cool that there's just people out there that love Pokemon, and that's like the thing that brings us together as a community. And you can be like from completely different walks of life. All that being said, not gonna lie, because I'm Korean, I have the ACC2 gene mutation or whatever. It's the one where I don't have to wear deodorant because I never have body odor, but I smell everybody else's body odor like 100 times worse. Bro, going to card shows sometimes is brutal for me. Steve, I'm guessing you might have that too, because a lot of the East Asians do, and I know like at least some Vietnamese people do as well. Oh, thanks for watching from the Philippines. Appreciate it, husband collects. I would say some stuff in Tagalog, but I don't want to embarrass myself, and because it's been, let's see, I moved out of the house I was rooming with my Filipino buddy in 2020, late 2020, and that was the last time that I heard Tagalog spoken regularly in my house. But we did a lot of Filipino cooking during the pandemic. That was a lot of fun. And Steve, I was asking if do you have the genetic condition like most Koreans and some Japanese and Chinese do, where you don't have to wear deodorant because you don't stink, but it means that you can smell other people's BO way worse? It's one of those weird cultural phenomenons. Like my buddy works in South Korea quite often, and he's white, and so he was like ran out of deodorant one time, and he literally couldn't find a shop that sold it. Oh yeah, gotcha. Yeah, and but I know some Vietnamese people that don't smell at all after if they don't wear deodorant. But I haven't worn deodorant since I was like a teenager, and I was just told culturally because I grew up in a very white area that I should be wearing deodorant. And so ever since I just haven't worn it. But I was saying earlier that that's the only downside for me with the Pokemon and the trading card community is sometimes when I go to card shows, I can just smell everybody and it's tough. And I don't know what the correlation is, but like I feel like there's always somebody at a card show that has some issues with how often they bathe. And that person always seems to stand right next to me at any card show, and I'm like, bro, I'm gonna die. Like I can't. Sweat. Yeah, I feel you there. If I eat a ton of especially Indian food will like make me like I can smell it in my sweat, but it's not the same for me as like actually smelling like BO. And so husband collects. I'm actually not selling anything right now. I'm just collecting, but I will probably start to sell singles at card shows coming up in the near future. But yeah, I it hasn't been profitable by any means yet, but my main goal right now has just been to grow my content creation account here and just try to like interact more with the community and grow my like put my name out there, and then eventually I'll probably consider doing something like rip and ships on the side and or like selling singles at card shows, especially since in like a year from now I'm gonna have enough graded cards that I could sell like a bunch of dupes and stuff at card shows. So yeah, it's tough to both want to try to profit in some way, but also be like a pretty diehard collector where like my nightmare scenario is becoming a rip and shipper and then opening my chase card for somebody else where I have to give it away. And like knowing how hard it is to get certain chase cards, that would be devastating for me personally. But it's really funny because like a lot of times I'll just be on a live stream and any of my like regulars, I think Jace is on here again. No, I'll just start a live stream and I'll literally rip like a booster box worth of product on a live stream, and people will join and be like, how much can I buy a pack for? I'm like, get out of here. I'm not selling these packs. These are mine. And they're like, what? Like, you're weird. Like, why are you doing this then? I'm like, I'm just hanging out opening packs because why not? Like if I let's be honest, everybody who's creating Pokemon content, if they're ripping packs, they're ripping them at some point. And if you're pre-recording videos to rip them by yourself, you're losing out on a potential channel to interact with other people in this community. And so that's what I realized one day. I'm like, I'm going to start ripping all my packs live. And then I'll also just have a second camera so I can pre-record those videos. Yeah, $25 pack. Maybe that's what I should do. I'll be like, hey, if you really want me to open a pack for you, then you got to pay me a premium. But otherwise, I'm keeping this stuff. Yeah, Jace, I was actually thinking about doing like some mystery single stuff, but and like having a floor that's like a $3 or $4 card and maybe doing like $10 per single or like five, depending on how much the average value is. But I don't know. I feel like that's a good way to like make somebody mad and like start writing nasty grams. But I don't know. I'm still figuring out how to monetize this long term. But right now I'm just still in growth mode, like just kind of taking a hit financially so that I can figure out what's best for how to grow my social media here. And I've tried to be like as straightforward, transparent, and honest about what I do and what my goals are with content creation. And I feel like people appreciate that. And yeah, just overall, I'm not trying to be one of those people that's trying to like make a full-time job off of ripping off other people. If I make this into a full-time job, it's because I have enough followers and sponsorships that I don't have to do a day job anymore. But until I get to that point, I will never like say, I'm going to sell things for scalper prices just so I can do this full time, because that doesn't make me feel good. And if I go full time, I want to actually really go full time content creation, not full time because I'm ripping off a bunch of like teenagers on TikTok Live. What's up, Lukesh? Hockey, I don't know. I lost interest because Canada, and yeah, whatever. It's Canada. So I'll let you know once USA starts in the next 2 hours. But I was like, all right, well, Canada started winning, and I kind of don't want them to win this game because then they're going to probably seed higher than Team USA for the actual quarterfinals. So I was like, I'm just going to shut this off. I saw the guys that play on Vegas Golden Knights get a couple assists, so I'm good. Yeah, I was legitimately just kind of hate watching. Like, I'm not a political guy by any means, but there's something that happens in my brain when the Olympics or Four Nations hockey happens. Whenever there's a best on best tournament in hockey that is based on a country, I just go completely nuts for Team USA. Same thing happened for Four Nations. I thought that was one of the best like hockey exhibitions of this century so far at this point, to be quite honest. And the fact that Team USA just started a whole line brawl within the first 10 seconds of the game was like one of the most epic things that I think I've ever seen on hockey. And so, yeah, that I'm so bummed that you get ejected from the Olympic Games if you fight at all, because I was like, what a better way to set the tempo than just starting another line brawl fight from puck drop if the final is USA versus Canada, but it won't happen. But yeah, like overall, I'm not political. Like, I'm not going to be like, I don't like Canada because they're mad at the United States. It's more, I don't like Canada because they beat us in the Four Nations face-off last year. But also, I kind of think it was hilarious that one guy from Team Canada in curling like totally cheated, and then Sweden called him out, and then he swore at them, and he's like, I didn't cheat. And then like all the replays are like, bro, you definitely cheated. Like, it just makes me feel better because like Canada has the reputation for everybody being very nice and polite and like follows the rules, and like it's like if you watch hockey long enough, Canada's just as like sketchy as America when it comes to most things. They're just more polite about they're conveying what they're doing. But I also laughed because like the other guy in that video of like where Team Canada and Team Sweden were yelling at each other in curling, like the guy who's like trying to back up the main guy swearing on Team Canada sounds like Shorzy from Letterkenny and Shorzy, and I thought that was hilarious. He's like, "Oh, come on, buddy, you can't be that mad," and I'm just like, "Oh my god!" Like that guy, he's got the Shorzy voice. He's got that high pitched like super Canadian voice. And so, yeah, if anybody here hasn't seen Letterkenny or Shorzy, like, it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. You might need to be more of a hockey fan to really get all the humor. And honestly, like, I didn't get any of the humor till I turned on subtitles because it's that Canadian. It's like redneck Canadian. They speak a whole different language. Yes, I'm actually bummed out, Steve, that I'm not wearing my... I have a Gus and Bruno shirt, and actually up on my... little hockey section of my shelving over behind me, there's a empty bottle of Gus and Bruno whiskey that I got from a Letterkenny promotion a couple years ago. The craziest thing though is I'm like, you know what? This whiskey isn't worth like keeping sealed because it's like a promo thing. So I tried it and it was actually pretty good for like a $25 bottle of Canadian whiskey that was a promotion for Letterkenny. And so, yeah, that was surprising to me. I was expecting it to taste like diesel fuel, and I would just dump it all down the drain. And honestly, over time I had that whole bottle, and it was good. But yeah, I love those kind of things where you can like get like a promo from some show you really like that's like a real world thing. I love that Shorzy does or that Jared Kiso that plays Shorzy does the actual like tournaments with retired NHL players where they play like a just for fun like charity hockey game, and they do that across the country. I think that's so cool because you get like a little bit of the Shorzy and you get to watch hockey with some old veterans in from the NHL. It's just a pretty fun thing that he's built culturally. And yeah, so husband collects. These are pretty much 100% from booster packs that I've ripped. To be honest, all of these booster packs I've ripped since the start of February. So I rip a lot, a ton. I might even add. Let me make sure I didn't miss any other comments here. And thanks guys and gals for all the hearts and roses and stuff. I appreciate y'all. And India won't be 65 runs. Oh, is India, Pakistan, and cricket? That's got to be a very dramatic. That's got to be really dramatic whenever there's India, Pakistan playing in teams in anything. Like that's like basically the equivalent today of like 1980s USA versus Russia in hockey. Like there's just some serious rivalry there for multiple reasons. And so most of these things were fairly close to MSRP, especially since I didn't have a job for a little while. I told myself like I can't buy scalper price stuff except for maybe a pack here and there of Ascended Heroes and maybe some vintage packs. But like all of the Prismatic that I opened except for one collection was actually below MSRP because I got it from the last Sam's Club drop that we had here a couple weeks ago or a week ago. And so 40 packs were, let's see, $160. So it was $4 a pack, which is the best price I've paid for packs in a very, very long time. All of my journey together was a little bit above MSRP, but the average was about $6 a pack. I got a bunch of Destined Rivals recently, and the average there was about $8 a pack, which is good for Destined Rivals. Very, very good, actually. And then I got a Mega Evolution and Phantasmal were probably about $7 or $8 a pack as well. So not quite MSRP, but way lower than a lot of the scalper prices. So my rule of thumb is if it's a pack or a set I'm chasing and it's a special set, especially like say Black Bolt, White Flare, or like back before it got real expensive, 151, I'll usually agree to pay up to $10 a pack if I'm chasing something and I just want to rip a few packs of it. But otherwise, my general rule of thumb, and this is for US dollars, obviously. Oh, there's some Ascended Heroes in here. So this is in US dollars, is I try to only buy packs for less than $8. And even that is a little steep, but these days it's just so hard to find packs that sometimes I'll say, okay, I'll bite the bullet and just buy at least some at $8 a pack. And that stinks if you got to pay reseller price. Journey Together for $10 is clinically insane. Like, if anybody agrees to pay that, then shame on them. They're feeding the scalpers and making it worse for all of us because they're validating with a scalper that they can charge that price. When I go through like a rip and shipper on TikTok, I'll only go through a couple, like TCG True or Many Realms. Many Realms is my home shop here in Vegas anyways. So I like to support them on there just because they're a pretty much brand new shop and they're still getting their like feet on the ground here in Vegas. So they'll do a little bit of like scalpery prices if they have like Ascended Heroes blisters, but it's solely because if they didn't do that, then somebody would just buy all of them all at once right at the start of a stream. So I get that, but like their Journey, the other day they sold a Journey Together booster bundle on a flash sale for like $25, and that's literally MSRP. And so they're doing the community a positive service. And like I bought 5 packs of Destined Rivals from their rip and ship the other day. I think it was $45 or something. So it was like $9 a pack. But like for a rip and ship and to support a rip and shipper that I know is a local shop for me personally, that is acceptable for me. And so like I will be more comfortable paying slightly more to a local shop than I would be paying the same price to some shop I don't know out of Kalamazoo, because that's not anywhere close to where I live. Do I think they can ship here? I would check. So I would check on TikTok Shop. Honestly, that's probably your best bet because I bet you some of them will ship internationally, or might have. There might be some that are actually selling out of like somewhere closer. Like at least like the UK is slightly closer maybe for you than like I don't know the west coast of America. But yeah, so I would just check it out and see if you can find any international sellers. The other thing that I do like about TikTok is if you keep browsing around for Pokemon cards, TikTok will eventually send you a coupon from TikTok directly for like 20 or 30% off. And it's usually limited to up to like $30, but still, that's how I've gotten some decent deals on TikTok itself. And who is which one, Julian? Like which rip and shippers do I trust? Yeah, so rip and shippers I trust. My number one is Many Realms because they actually are my local card shop here in Vegas. So here, let me type it out in the comments here. Many Realms. Yeah, so those are the three that I currently will agree to buy from on a fairly regular basis. Also, I'll at least TCG True and Cash Cards Unlimited. I think Many Realms is working on this, but TCG True and Cash Cards Unlimited, you can buy something on their live stream and just tell them you want to keep it sealed and they ship the whole thing to you, and they'll just do exactly that. You can also from either of them buy off their live stream and they'll just ship it to you. So the ones I really don't like, and Many Realms is working on this, so they're just too small to do like straight up shipping so far. And the reason that I appreciate that with Many Realms is because they are saying we're not shipping sealed product without doing rip and ships because they want sealed product for the locals to buy. And I can't appreciate that enough because I'm their exact demographic of people that are buying that stuff here in Vegas. So I appreciate if they're not selling all their booster bundles to somebody random across the country and are saving it for people that want those bundles here in Vegas. That is like the best service you can do as a new local card shop. But yeah, overall, those are the three I really like. TCG True, I think, is about to go live on a stream if he's not right now. So when I end here in a little bit, feel free to go check that guy out. He's got pretty good prices. He was able to get a direct distribution relationship back in the day when Pokemon was not selling as well. And so he was grandfathered in as a really small rip and shipper from back in the day. So he has pretty darn good prices because he's actually getting wholesale prices on his end. He won't obviously have Ascended Heroes at MSRP or anything, but he's got like, last time I bought something from him, I bought like a few packs of Twilight Masquerade. I think they were $6 or $7 a pack. Bought some Journey. It was like $5 or $6 a pack. So good prices for sure. But the other thing you'll notice is the better the prices, the longer the queues to wait to get your stuff ripped live. Oops, I messed this up. Why did I put that energy there? And so obviously if you're looking to try to do that, try to get in as early as possible on those rip and ship queues whenever they start. All right, let's see. I'm going to do a little bit more of this. What are we hitting? 10:49 right now on the West Coast. Yeah, I'll keep going through sorting for a little while longer because I really don't feel like doing my startup work today. I'm going to wake up super early tomorrow morning and do it instead. All right, I got to clear out my darkness ones. Where am I going to put these? And my fire ones. All right, and I'm gonna move this energy because that is getting stacked. Oops, and sorry, dog. I dropped the energy cards all over my dog. Are you mad at me now? Are you mad? Are you offended that I dropped 2 energy cards on you? Well, I have a Shiba Inu, so she looks like an Eevee, and I dropped a fire energy card on her, so is she going to evolve into a Flareon now? I hope so. That'd be kind of cool. All right. Let me sort some of these stacks because they're getting unwieldy. Did I finish opening? No, I didn't yet. So rest of Journey is right here. And then I have actually two booster bundles of Destined Rivals that I forgot my fiance ordered on her account. So I got some more stuff to rip. I'm probably not going to do it today. I'm probably going to do it tomorrow afternoon, because I also have some more vintage packs coming in from another one of those bags that I bought. So kind of want to wait for those, and then I'll probably do a session mid to late afternoon tomorrow. Although my fiance's off from work, so it might be a little TBD. But if not tomorrow, definitely sometime early next week, because I don't think I'm starting my new job until a week from Monday. These background check companies take literally forever to get through a background check. I didn't even graduate like college. I dropped out of my like first or second semester. I don't know how hard it is to verify I went to high school. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have like a job in tech ever if I never had a high school diploma. So like the fact that it's taken them like 3 weeks of background checks to be like, oh, did you go to high school or not, is just wild to me. And passion does fuel everything. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, to be honest, like I'm not big on like social media. Like I basically spent since like 2018 or so having very little social media. And then one day I just realized that like people are monetizing this, and as the world is changing, like especially with stuff like AI taking over other jobs, it's probably good to have some kind of following in content creation. Wow, found a Glaceon as a backup to especially a tech career right now. So this is kind of just me hedging my bets and trying to build like a content creation channel of something that I actually am passionate about. And I actually started with Magic the Gathering because I got real into collecting that Final Fantasy Universes Beyond set, and then it got real expensive. And it was actually the first time I went to Many Realms, they sold me a booster bundle of Black Bolt at MSRP, and that got me back into collecting Pokemon. All it took was one booster bundle. Now I sound like it sounds like a drug addiction or something. But for real, all it took was that one booster bundle, and now I'm hooked. And that's awesome. Yeah, it's a good idea to have backup plans these days, because I don't know what AI is going to do to every industry long term, but I don't want to be one of those people that gets left behind because I chose to just ignore it. And especially since I work full-time in tech, like I can't ignore it. I already got laid off once because of AI, so probably going to happen again at some point, and I want to be better prepared the next time. What other cards do I have? Dang, look at all the promo cards. Why do I have a Mimikyu from an old set in there? Okay. Let's see. So I use an app called Card Centering Tool. It's just like a really basic app on the iOS App Store. All you do is you upload an image to it, and you can measure the corners. That's what I use for like double checking grading stuff right now. I'm gonna see if there's something better out there in the future, but so far it's been working okay for me. And let me see if there's any other comments that I missed. Yeah, so I'm on the product side, so it's a little less directly affecting me. And so honestly, like AI makes my job, I can do more on my side of the job by myself. So I have already like done a lot of vibe coding, and I got a couple things like as side projects I've been working on. So there's one that I'm working on, like this one actually might get funding. I'm working on it with like a big group of people. This is what I said I was procrastinating today, is actually content creation affiliate marketing for building a new app for that stuff and incorporating AI into it. I have to write the rest of the roadmap and requirements for stuff, and I don't feel like doing it today, so I'm going to get up really early in the morning and finish that. And then the other side project I was doing lately is my buddy and I built an AI agent that goes and searches for the type of cars that you're interested in potentially purchasing, and then once you tell it which ones that the search returned that you're interested in pursuing further, it'll reach out automatically to the car dealership that has that car, email them, and start negotiating the price on behalf of the user without the user having to do anything. and it works pretty well. It's scary how much more you'll be able to do like that in a couple years. And yeah, it's just a chain of different commands through AI prompts. So there's some programming you have to do like in between layers, but honestly, most of it is just wiring up the DevOps layers, stuff like, getting the email services to interact and stuff like that. And the AI layer does a lot more than I would expect. Oh, nice. Yeah, OpenClaw is getting a lot of attention lately. I like. I was looking at CloudBot the other day, and I was about to go buy a Mac Mini until I realized that then I'm passing my iMessages through a bot, which means that something out there is reading all of my personal like end-to-end encrypted iMessages, and then I said I'm not gonna do it that way. Not that I'm like sketchy or anything. I'm just like I'm not even that privacy focused. I'm just a little bit like more like better safe than sorry. Yeah, that's true. I don't think it can't take over anytime soon until the next generation of worker robots, which is definitely going to be a thing in like 10 to 15 years. But then, honestly, I think we're all pretty screwed. And by then, we better have universal basic income or something because nobody will be able to work once those robots are a thing. And that will be a thing in our lifetime, in my opinion. It's wild how much technology honestly has come out of what is a massively scaled autocomplete in a lot of ways. Yeah, and all good about the job. I already got a new job. I'm just waiting on this background check, like I said. So it was a blessing in disguise. I was so burned out at that job. I hated my job, and it was just really hard to find another job right away because otherwise I would have just started at a new job and like got out of there. But with the way that the economy's been going lately, it was really hard to have that happen. So I just took some time off and started applying to places. But the biggest thing is that I've been working in the tech industry for probably 15 years now, and so I'm not a total jerk when I work with people, which apparently paid off because it was one of my former colleagues that referred me to his current job where he is now going to be my boss. And so very, very thankful I was able to get a job in, like I got an offer almost a month ago, and that's how long this background check stuff has been taking. But like I know people that are way, way more qualified than I am in tech and have been out of work for like a whole year. So networking is extremely important. And yeah, honestly, that's totally normal in tech these days, where if you're just like naturally a technically inclined person, you can usually get a pretty decent paying role in tech and not have a degree. And the people that are like that always complain like, "Oh, that's like crazy that you didn't do that," are usually the ones that like can't figure out things on their own. Like, especially if you're a millennial, I feel like you had a advantage because the millennial generation had to troubleshoot tech on their own. It didn't matter if you were like trying to use MySpace or trying to play a Windows 3.1 game. Something would always break and there was no instructions on how to fix it. And so, yeah, in my opinion, like that helped with that millennial generation a ton with just automatically being really good at tech, even if you didn't want to be. More packs coming, need connections. Do I have any orders? Ascended Heroes, I got a ton coming, and I'm going to do the rest of the giveaway drawing sometime in the next couple days, and that'll align perfectly with when I get my Ascended Heroes, which most of that will deliver either by the end of this coming week or the start of the next week. There's a couple that I probably won't get until the following Monday, but one of the local shops I can drive to and pick up at least one of the ETBs, and I'll probably not use that one for the giveaway, so I have stuff to open right away, and then I'll use the one that arrives Monday to send out to whoever wins that. That's going to be such a good, like, I hope whoever wins that is like the happiest person on earth, because it's been a struggle to find Ascended at like even a remotely decent price, and there's just a chance that I give away something that has a god pack in it, and they just better appreciate it. And let's see. Sounds good. Thanks, Husband Collects. Appreciate you. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Yeah, honestly, Ascended is such a sought after set. I'm probably going to give another ETB away for the next round. I'll probably do one Ascended and one Perfect Order, and the first top winner will get to pick which one they want. And honestly, if I were them, I would pick Ascended because A, it's a hard set to find right now or probably ever, but B, it's also got the best art out of a set, probably any set I've ever seen. Like, I want that Pikachu SIR, both Pikachu SIRs so bad. I'm not going to stop ripping that set until I get them, but I'm worried it's going to be like Prismatic and I'm going to cry. That being said, when the booster bundles come out in April, I feel like the per pack cost of that set will slightly go down. I have like 6 booster bundles on pre-order across multiple different merchants, including Pokemon Center. So come April, I will be ripping a lot of Ascended. But obviously for content creation, I want to rip it right now, and I'm just not going to pay these scalper prices to do it, except for like the handful of packs that I did pay scalper prices for. Do I have Whatnot? I do not. I don't know if I ever will either. Whatnot seems kind of shady, to be honest. If I do any rip and ships, I'm probably going to stick to just doing them on TikTok. I've just seen too many people get ripped off on Whatnot, where the seller is like, pulls a chase card and then like does a bait and switch and like pretends like they didn't pull it and like steals it from the user. And I don't want to be associated with those people, so I feel like just staying off Whatnot is probably better. And like I don't think like I said earlier, my biggest thing is that I want to keep all the cards I open. So like that's my biggest hang up with doing rip and chips right now, because honestly, while I hadn't been employed, if I was just doing rip and chips this whole time, I probably would have made a ton of money, even if I had to pass a little bit higher prices on to users. But like, I think about all the packs I opened and some of the hits I got, and like my Mega Charizards would have gone to somebody else from Phantasmal. Like some of these SIRs I pulled would have gone to some other people, and like I want to keep those and grade them. So I'm kind of glad that I didn't do that. That being said, my wallet is starting to cry because it's been like 2 months since I've had a job. So I'm very excited to get back to work. And then I'm very excited to hopefully continue growing my content to get better prices to buy bulk wholesale quantities of Pokemon cards, even if it's literally just ripping for myself like I've been doing. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I like started a Whatnot account like a few months ago, and then I opened the app, and then I saw like some videos about the drama that was happening over there, and I'm like, oof, I think I'm gonna stay away from that for now. But I do have socials on pretty much everything else. My main ones are pretty much this and YouTube, as well as I have Instagram, and I guess I have Facebook. Like I just made one day and it just auto posts all my stuff from Instagram there. And then I've been a little bit more active on X lately, but just because I'm like always following the accounts that announce drops over there for Pokemon cards. And let's see, pack breaks on there. What do you do to buy singles on Whatnot? Is there like sellers that are just selling specific singles you're looking for, or is it like an auction? Or I'm just curious how you've been buying them there. Because I feel like I've seen some of those things like energy breaks and stuff, and I feel like those honestly are just a cash grab, and I feel like the users actually typically don't ever win out on most of those. And what's up, G? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you have a good Sunday, man. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like all the breaking, those kind of breaks are like somebody always gets like kind of screwed over or something from those. Like if I were going to do anything, it would probably just be like straight up sealed pack rip and ships or mystery singles and slabs, where it's like your floor is $10, the ceiling is 500, the average is like somewhere in between there, and like pick a number 1 through 50, and I'll show you what that top loaded card is or something. Gotcha. Yeah, that I like that format better, Julian. It's just some of those like ones where it's like $400 for this energy break of Ascended, and then you get like 15 common cards and that was it. Sounds bad. And gotcha. That makes sense, Jared. I think that is a better way to use those kind of services. Like it's the ones where it's a breaker that's like trying to get you to chase the latest sets for crazy prices that make me feel the worst. Oh no, drop that. Space Narwhals. I just watched, but they opened some crazy stuff. All right, I'll definitely check that out. But yeah, that's why there's a couple breakers I do like on here, because they have good prices and they're like pretty trustworthy, and I've bought from them enough to know that they're not like ripping me off. $5-6. Yeah, that's super fair. $5 or $6 is ultra fair. Now, are you just kind of like passing on your cost, or are you making some money off of the actual pack there? Because it seems like unless you're getting them wholesale, that you'd be struggling to break even there. And that's my biggest problem, is unless I can buy things at a wholesale price, like I'm just gonna feel like I'm ripping off whoever's buying from me. Somebody came on here while I was just literally ripping my own packs for myself yesterday and called me a scalper. And I'm like, I'm not even selling packs, bro. Like, how am I a scalper? I'm in fact on the opposite of a scalper. I'm a card hoarder. I'm keeping everything for myself. I'm not giving it to other people. Oh, I was wondering what happened to him. I was guessing that either you or Jace banned him because like he just stopped saying stuff after a minute. But like that was like the most ridiculous. And like of course the guy had to add like a race comment to it too. Like you always know that somebody is a complete loser when they like the first thing they say to you is something about your race. And so I like as soon as he said that, I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's a loser. I figured you guys would take care of it though. So again, I appreciate you and Jace being mods on my streams because sometimes I don't realize that somebody's even being a jerk until like I look back at it and I'm like, oh, I totally didn't even realize they were like trying to be a racist. They were just too dumb to make it like coherent. That's funny. I'm not separating a specific set. I have just ripped so many different sets recently that I'm just trying to kind of sort by reverse hollow versus hollow and then by energy type. Just so that basically what I've been doing is I label all of my bulk storage boxes by both energy type and then the quarter in which I opened it or month in which I opened it, so that if I'm like, I know I opened way too much Prismatic and lost my shirt in February 2026, I can pretty easily find it. Sometimes I'll put the set codes that I opened that month on the box too. But if I ever have a bunch of extra time, oh, that guy wants LeChonks, that's right. I'll probably go back and sort by set, which is not going to be fun. I should have probably done that already, but I got into a certain groove of just sorting by this way, and it's worked out for me so far. It's wild how many energy cards I have at this point. I have like multiple boxes of just energy cards now. Let's see. I do not have the 151 ATB. I wish I had it. I was a little too late into collecting to justify buying at a market price when I started collecting again. The only reason I have a Prismatic Pokemon Center ETB behind me is because my buddy got one when they dropped on Pokemon Center, like when Prismatic first was dropped for pre-order there. And he got 2 of them, and his Grail chase card for a graded slab was a PSA 9 Pikachu with gray felt hat, and I had 2 of those cards. So I'm like, hey, I'll trade you a Pikachu, a gray felt hat if you send me one of your Phantasmal and one of your Prismatic Pokemon Center ETBs. And he said, deal. And so that's the only reason I have 2 Pokemon Center ETBs. And let's be honest, I'm a psycho. I'm probably going to rip both of those at some point. I was saying earlier, or I keep saying though, like, there's a God Pack in that Prismatic one. And there's probably not, but how will I know unless I find out? It's like Schrodinger's God Pack. Like, it's there and it's not. But until I observe it, I don't know the answer. And I need to figure out something to do with my energies. Yeah, I saw some really cool art things that people were doing on TikTok recently, where there's a lot of people drawing on them or like adding their own little like scenes to them. I'm gonna do a skit one of these days with Many Realms. I'm gonna roll in there and get their permission first, but hold on, I'll show you what I'm gonna do because I think it's gonna be funny. So this is how many collections I've opened that have jumbo cards in them. I'm going to roll up to Many Realms with this and then do a pre-recorded video where I'm like, hi, I'd like to buy energies for my deck. And then they're like, we don't have those. And I'm like, but I want to play. I'm ready to play. Or I'll just like sit down at one of the play tables with somebody who has normal sized Pokemon cards and just like slap these down upside down and be like, all right, cut the deck for me. So yeah, I feel like I can do that. And the reason I have so many of these is because at one point when I first started collecting, some of the cheapest ways to get booster packs at the time was to buy a bunch of the like crappier collections that nobody wanted. So I have a lot of collections that nobody wanted. A lot of that is Target ones too that weren't very great, like all these Kyurem cards here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody like these aren't that valuable or whatever. Like I see that some people grade them, which is crazy to me. I guess if this one's actually pretty cool. It's like the jumbo version of the V Union separate cards that I have. But yeah, I mean, most of these are duplicates. There's a lot of the Venusaur and Latios like lenticular cards in here because I opened a lot of those collections. But yeah, I definitely feel like I can do a skit with these because I have like basically a deck's worth, and I just feel like it'd be really funny to like sit down at like a table, roll out my playmat on a video, and then just slam down a jumbo deck and be like, all right, you ready? Cut my deck. And it's just this massive jumbo deck. So anyways, that's one of my plans for content coming up in the next couple weeks. Like I have so many of them, I don't know what to do with them. They won't even like fit in my file cabinet anymore. But I've been having so much fun thinking about that as a potential script for some content. All right, let me do this pile real quick. Master set the jumbo cards. Oh my god, that would be expensive. It would be hilarious, but expensive. It would also be another funny skit, like rolling into a local card shop and be like, hi, I'd like to master set these, and you just hold up all the jumbo cards you have, and they're just like, what? Like, are you okay? No, I really want to master set these. How do I get every jumbo card ever made? What's up, guy that exists? Good to see you. Welcome to my stream. I'm usually on yours. I'm just hanging out with these guys, sorting some cards today and cracking dad jokes. And what was that, Lukesh? You get a binder for jumbo. That would actually be funny. Like, just have like a dedicated jumbo card binder and roll up to like a vendor at a card show and be like, what will you trade me for these, bro? And they're like, bag of pretzels. And oh, good. Appreciate you joining. I think you are probably one of my mutuals that has the most followers, so definitely appreciate having some of those overlapping connections here. And I appreciate you pulling some heat for me too. I was actually just talking to this stream about how the company you work for is one of the only rip and shippers that I actually trust on any lives that I interact with. So it's Cash Cards Unlimited, and then TCG True and Many Realms are really the only ones I'll buy from because y'all have really fair prices. You're really transparent, and you also give options to send things in to the buyer sealed, which I also appreciate. So I think it's cool what y'all do for the community, and I wish there were more companies like yours out there, to be honest. Let's see. Go check on my comment. There's a guy I follow. Somebody's legitimately trying to master set jumbo cards. Like, what does that look like though? Like, are they trying to get every jumbo card in existence, or just for certain eras or something? Because I could see like master setting like jumbo cards for like mega evolutions would be pretty easy, but like if you're trying to get every jumbo card that's ever been produced, that's insane. And And yeah, for sure. Like that's the other thing is the funniest thing is people will come onto my stream and be like, "How do I buy boosters from you?" When I'm just ripping for my viewers and myself. And I'm like, I don't actually sell any of these. Like, I want to keep all these cards; they're mine. And then like one of my Lakesh on here is a mod for this because he's always on my streams, as is Jace, and I appreciate those guys because there's a lot of trolls out there too. But like some guy the other day was like, "Look, it's the Asian scalper final boss," and I'm like, I'm not even selling cards. Like that was like the worst attempt at a troll ever. Like I literally am keeping all these cards for myself. That said, though, one thing I do for my own regulars is like the people I interact with the most, I always am like, hey, like I want to send you like a promo card or a couple booster packs that I've bought out of pocket just because like that's how you grow this kind of content. And I really appreciate these guys for not only doing that, but modding all the worst kinds of people that sometimes like to show up in all of our streams. Let's see. Yeah, I thought it was funny when you banned him. Yeah, well, the funniest thing, Julian, is I was adopted as a baby, so my parents are actually white, and so like I am like I don't know how to otherwise explain this, but I'm like the whitest Asian person you'll probably ever meet. Like I grew up on a farm. I learned how to drive a tractor when I was like 5 years old, so like I can hold my own. I got real thick skin. I grew up in Western Massachusetts where my local bar, I'd walk in and everybody just start making fun of me, like in a good way though, because I was friends with everybody. And like when you're that kind of friends with people, especially in like a Cheers style bar situation, you realize like you give everybody their permission to just rag on you for anything and it's fine. As soon as a stranger walks into that bar and starts saying the same things, that person gets kicked out. And that's the kind of community that I love. Obviously, I'm not going to make those same kind of jokes on the internet, but I really appreciate those kind of things where you can joke around with your friends and you're like friends of friends, but then if somebody's actually being really mean, like all those people will back you up. Yeah, East Coast. I miss it most of the year except for like right around now. I was talking to my parents the other day. They're like, it's going to be a high of 6 degrees and a low of -12 with wind chill. And I'm like, yeah, it's going to be 71 here today. So here, this time of year, I really love living in Vegas. Every summer that it is 117 degrees here, I would love to move back to the East Coast. That being said, whenever I end up visiting the East Coast in June or July, it's 100% humidity, and I'm like, okay, maybe Vegas is okay. All right, let's see. Yeah, Southwest privilege, 100%. I've been really, really loving that aspect of it. I just I'm about to hit 11 years here in Vegas as of April of this year, so surprisingly long time. And I was saying earlier that one of the things I miss the most about the East Coast is actually the food. Because we get most of our food sourced from California here, it also means that it's food that is grown unseasonably year round, and it doesn't taste right. Like tomatoes in December don't taste right. Corn, anytime that's not really like the August harvest season, isn't as sweet or as like tart. And so I miss seasonal food in the right seasons like the East Coast always did. And let's see. Yeah, I miss the moisture in the air too. I get bloody noses like every week, at least once. And then I have like bad dust allergies, so I really picked a poor city to be like, hey, I'm gonna settle here for at least a decade. But that being said, I met my fiance here. Vegas always has something to do at any hour of any day. So there's a ton of benefits to living here. But honestly, since people have realized the same thing I did a decade ago, that Vegas is an extremely cost-effective place to settle. Traffic's horrible here because everybody moved from California during the pandemic, and so Vegas these days feels honestly like a little mini like extension of California. But when I first moved here, it kind of had a very different culture. Oh yeah, hit me up when you're in for MagicCon. I was gonna go to it until I got laid off from my day job right before the tickets dropped. So probably gonna skip actually attending this year, but I'll definitely be around town. And I know there's a bunch of other card stuff that's in town that week as a result of MagicCon being here as well. So definitely hit me up when you're around. Would love to meet up. And if you're looking for like specific food places you might not know about here in Vegas, like I got all the hidden gems that are off strip. But super easy to Uber to, like places in Chinatown, as well as like there's a place in the Arts District here in Vegas that has one of the best Italian restaurants I've ever eaten at. Their quality is so high that they actually fly in lobsters for any of their like lobster dishes, like very frequently. I think it's almost every day. So yeah, I love that place. There's also, if you're a beer drinker, there's some really, really good local breweries out here now. And they're like hidden gems that like you really don't even see the casinos like serving up those things on draft. And so I've been pretty impressed with how this city's grown. I know we get a reputation for being like degenerates and for gambling, but there's a lot of culture in this city. And it's just a pretty cool place to live, especially if you're fairly high income and you want to keep more of it, because we have no state income tax here, and average housing price is probably around 500 to 600 grand right now here for a brand new build. Gotcha. Yeah, and thanks for the congrats, and totally understand why you wouldn't be drinking as a result. But yeah, well, obviously Vegas has changed a lot recently too, where it's not as drinking centric as it used to be. And there's just so much stuff to do. Like the fact that we have like professional sports teams now, we have like a massive football stadium and a hockey arena. It's just like it's a pretty cool place to call home now. And yeah, I very rarely go to the Strip. My fiance works as a manager at one of the casinos, so she doesn't want to go to the Strip whenever we have a overlapping day off. So we tend to find the local gems every time. There's this really great Thai place down the street from us. It's like maybe 5-10 minute drive from our house, and it's right across the street from an Albertsons that has a Pokemon vending machine. So I love going to get Thai food there and then checking the Albertsons to see if there's any stock in the vending machine. And I swear to you, every time there's some old lady that's buying Pokemon cards, like the person in front of us that gets a whole booster box, and I get one pack of Journey Together every single time. Does it have karaoke? It does not have karaoke, but it's like a hole in the wall Thai place. But we have some of the best Korean karaoke bars that I've been to on the West Coast. There's one called Q Bistro and Karaoke Bar, and they have some of the best like Korean fried chicken and like all the like Korean bar food dishes like tteokbokki and like anything like you could imagine for a good like Korean like bar food dish. And then they just have like 10 different like private karaoke rooms of varying sizes so that you can do whatever karaoke you want, and you can do it in the privacy of your own embarrassment, which I especially like because I didn't get I didn't get the Asian gene where everything I sing is perfect pitch. I have a good ear. I can play stuff by ear, like guitar wise, but yeah, sometimes my singing gets real off key. Yeah, and K Barbecue karaoke is fantastic, especially if you can get and this place is K Barbecue, but it also has straight up Korean bar food, like all of the stuff with cheese on it, like the crazy dish that is basically just hot dogs with melted cheese on top of them and some rice cakes. Like they do that all day, and so like I am always impressed with like everybody's like, oh, well, Korea has become too westernized. And I'm like, Korea's awesome. They're like the partiers of Asia at this point. Like, you wanna go have a good time in like Asian nightlife, you go to Seoul. And so I'm proud of my Korean heritage when it comes to that. There's also like a culture thing where most Koreans don't turn red when they drink. So like culturally, if you're like at a business meeting and you're with like Asians where they do turn red in Korea, like apparently the Koreans will make fun of you because they're like, haha, you can't hold your liquor because you turned red. Um, and yeah, honestly, like being a Korean, I will probably always pick going to Korea, mostly because I have a biological brother I've never met that was not adopted and is still in Korea. So I've been learning Korean to try to go find him and be able to speak his native language as I once I find him. And I've actually did a TikTok post that started to go a little bit viral that people in South Korea were trying to help me find him. The problem is my biological brother's full name is basically the Korean version of being John Smith in America. And I was the equivalent of being James Smith in America. So yeah, it's gonna be really, really hard to find this dude. Because when you search for him, there's like 1,000 people with the same exact name. Yeah, and the Asian flush or Asian glow. And but yeah, the so I'm very excited to learn more Korean. I'm definitely not fluent yet, but I've just been doing Duolingo, and then I have a couple former colleagues that are like FOB Korean, so they help me a ton with learning why certain things are said the way they are. Like, especially with a lot of Asian languages, a lot of it is just figuring out the order in which things are said correctly. Like, the verbs in always at the end in Korean. Let me see if there's anybody else that I didn't see yet. And thanks, Lakesh. Appreciate it. I just don't know what it feels like to know somebody that's blood related to you. So that's what I'm the most curious about. Like, do you feel differently when you actually are in the presence of somebody else that you're blood related to? And I want to know the answer to that question, honestly. But I also think it'd be a kind of a cool like to document all of it as like my own journey, like almost like a mini documentary. Like, this is my situation, like this is why I want to find my biological brother, and like this is what happened. Yeah, and absolutely, man, I appreciate that. Like, and that's the biggest thing. That's why, like, with all the people that get so overly political about stuff these days, and I get it, there's a lot of bad stuff that's happening out there, but like most people are more similar than they are different, and people tend to forget that because they read too much crap on the internet. And I've been there my whole life. Like, I grew up in a place that was 99.9% white people. I was the only Asian person in my entire school for the most part. There was like one other adopted person 2 or 3 grades separated from me. But like I learned to both be resilient and have thick skin, but also I learned that a lot of people that you would judge by what they look like as like a super redneck, crazy looking, like hick kind of person, a lot of those people are very, very open-minded, more than you would think. And yeah, they might make some off-color jokes here and there, but like honestly, those people would probably jump in front of a moving train to save you. And so like I try not to judge people based on just politics or just an opinion on one thing. Like, I feel like that's part of the cause of why everybody's so angry at each other in this world these days. And 100%, being chronically online makes it so much worse. Like, so many people just need to go touch some grass. And like, if you ever like a lot of these people, it's like they've never talked to somebody in real life before, at least about the topics they're mad about. Because if you did, you'd realize like, oh, like most people are honestly just normal and nice and just want to do their own thing and have a life where they can not be bothered to live the way they want to. So, oh my God, yeah, and 100%. Like, that's one of the things I love about Pokemon. And like, that was one of my favorite things about that Super Bowl commercial with Pokemon is it was in every different walk of life, every different culture, every different language. Like, they were showing that like Pokemon brings people of all walks of life together into something that we all love as a commonality. And I love that so much. And then, yeah, that would be, how cool would that be if like one day I'm just on a live stream opening packs and then like my biological brother shows up and he's like, wait, like, why do you look like me? Let's see. Sometimes I wonder if like my Twitch and YouTube are still working because I don't get a ton of comments on there, and then other days like everybody wants to talk to me over there. So I think it's working. I just don't think I'm not big enough in those accounts yet for a ton of people to always be watching over there. Yep. And everybody seems everybody has a favorite Pokemon, right? Like I feel like if you ever watched or played or did anything with Pokemon, you're gonna have a favorite. There's like no absolutely no way that you don't if you've ever had any experience with it. And these days, it's like, especially the older generations like myself, I don't think I know anybody who didn't at least like hold a Pokemon card once in their life. And let's see. What's up, Steph? Thanks for joining. Sorry, I've been missing the joins on the chat here and there. Those are the hardest to keep up with, and they like disappear from the TikTok Lives messaging very quickly. I do like using TikTok Live directly for the TikTok side of this stream, though, because I have OBS running everything, but I have a virtual camera copy going to TikTok, so mostly in case I want to start streaming music and I can't figure out how to do fair play stuff everywhere else, then I'll just only stream that audio source to TikTok this way. I was just happy after like a whole day of experimenting, I figured out the right way to route without killing my computer's CPU load. Sounds good, and appreciate you, guy that exists. And yeah, I feel like I like hanging out with you when you're doing your own rips with the cash card streams, but like definitely gonna check out if you do your own lives directly too. What your streams are like. I know you lean more Magic the Gathering, but I got a lot of love for Magic. I just my wallet doesn't right now from a buying more of it perspective. I'm going so hard on the Star Trek Universes Beyond set later this year, though. I won't, but I would love to try to master set it because I'm such a big Star Trek nerd. And I will riot if they don't make a Riker sits on chair card where it has him with his leg going over the back of the chair. That will be absolutely unacceptable if they don't make that card in some way, shape, or form. And no, I didn't miss anything on YouTube. Probably the most, yeah, Next Generation. Honestly, though, Strange New Worlds has been so good that might be starting to come in a close second for me. I don't know, I was big into the 90s Star Treks the most, because that's what I grew up around. Like, I was a little kid watching Patrick Stewart and Jonathan Frakes, fly around the universe, but then I also watched a lot of Janeway, a lot of Deep Space Nine. Didn't really get into the Enterprise, but then, yeah, when Strange New Worlds came out, like, Discovery was whatever, but holy cow, Strange New Worlds was great for me. And I'm super excited for the next season. I'm bummed that they're cutting it off so early, but my fiance saw the guy who plays Captain Kirk from Strange New Worlds at her job the other day, and she said how excited we are if they end up doing a real spin-off with like a spin-off of the original series with the same actors from Strange New Worlds as the TOS crew. And he kind of winked at her and gave her like and she's like, I hope that happens. He's like, me too, 100%. Like, we are so excited if that happens. So it kind of gave me a feeling like he would give her a little wink, like there might be something in the works for that. Like, no guarantees, but if they do that, I would be very happy because there's a really good chemistry between the guy who plays Spock and the guy who plays Kirk in Strange New Worlds. And favorite Pokemon card? Favorite of all time is honestly probably the original base Charizard first edition, because I had 3 of them. So even if my parents like gave them a Goodwill or that I truly did lose them, that's my favorite just because I know I used to have those and I kept them in really good shape in a binder, and then I forgot about Pokemon for like 20 years until the prices went nuts in like the mid 2010s, and then I realized my mistakes, that I should have just held on to every single card I ever bought as a kid. Especially the first edition base set booster box that I won in a tournament as a kid. Should have kept that sealed. Actually, one of those first edition Charizards came out of that box though, so I don't know. I guess I just should have kept all of that stuff overall. If I find them and they became a PSA 10, I would honestly like pay off any like my mortgage, any like other debt I have. Like I would have a very easy time for the rest of my life. I'd still have to work, but I wouldn't have to work hard, and I might be able to just do content creation full time like right away. But honestly, if those cards still exist, I would say the highest possible grade they would get is an 8. I just cannot imagine that there's not whitening in the corners, and potentially they're warped, but especially like there's got to be some kind of scratches on the front just from being that old at this point. But because I'm going to be honest, I think I just had like the Ultra Pro like binder, like 3-ring binder pages where it was just you would slide them in like vertically. And like back then, you didn't double sleeve anything. You didn't top load stuff. You just threw it in a binder and then forgot about it for 20 years. So don't have high hopes that if I do still have those cards, they're in a PSA 10 worthy shape. And yeah, 8 is still very good. 8 is still a lot of money coming back to me and could be a lot of potential future content and booster packs. So like not gonna be upset if those things get any kind of decent grade. Yeah, $1,500, I'll take it. But not quite as good as, $250,000 to $300,000, but money's money, right? I'd still take it. All right, I'm going to do a little bit more stacks here, and then I'm probably going to call it in a few minutes because my Team USA hockey game is coming up here in about 30 minutes, but I still got some more I want to get through because, let's be honest, we all know I'm going to rip more cards on a live stream this week and hang out with you guys, so I need to make room on my desk because I literally ran out of room for bulk on my desk today. And that's why this is one of my longer streams. I've been going for almost 2 hours just sitting here sorting cards so far. To the point where like I've had to refresh a bunch of these stacks multiple times. I ran out of space on my grass Pokemon types like 3 times already. Let's see. It's interesting though, because like I feel like this stream in particular has had more consistent viewers throughout today than some of my other streams where I was opening like Evolving Skies yesterday. I had less concurrent viewers than I do right now. So it's just funny how that works, where y'all want to hang out and chat with me while I'm sorting cards, and then I feel like when people watch me sort cards, it's more of like a casual thing and people want to have a conversation. When people see that I'm opening a pack and it's the first thing they see on the stream, I feel like they either skip because they think I'm rip and shipping and they're not interested in that, or they want to buy a rip and ship and I'm not doing it, so they're also not interested in that. So sometimes I actually think that the sorting thing is a better way to just have some like streaming live content and just have chats with all of y'all that like to hang out, because like we've been doing, we can talk about anything, and most of it's about something Pokemon related, but it doesn't always have to be. So yeah, it's also just kind of one of those therapeutic things. If you're a big ASMR person, the little click sound of the card sorting tray is kind of nice, so I get it. Honestly, I'm the only one I know that does this live, but I'm sure there's other people that do, and if I find them, I would totally watch their stream just because I like the noises and the topics. Yeah, everything but politics and traumatic evolutions. I'll even talk about traumatic evolutions. I just don't want to talk politics or whatever that one really, really weird guy was talking about on the stream the other day. I'm like, how many more questions can you ask me? Like, the questions were getting weird. Like, I was just like, I felt uncomfortable for that guy. Like, it was like secondhand embarrassment more than me being annoyed. Because like, I was like uncomfortable with like what kind of person asks those kind of questions to a complete stranger kind of thing. Like, how much do you make in a year? Bro, like, you've never even been on one of my streams before. Like, and why are you like accusing me of like being like anything? It was just weird. Like, I would say that's a bot, but it seemed too like specific to be a bot. I think it might have just been like a 14-year-old. But yeah, weird stuff sometimes. But like I was saying the other day, I think to Lakesh, there are seriously people out there that are so bored that they like will just be a troll because they want attention in any way, shape, or form, and I just find that to be incredibly sad. Like, and I've told that to those people before. I'm like, bro, I feel bad for you. That's like not a fun way to live life. But yeah, I think that one might have been a bot. One of them was definitely a bot. One of them, like, I wasn't sure if they were just... one of them seemed like a bot. The other one seemed like just a straight-up jerk. But yeah, I always appreciate you guys for going to bat for me and making my life a little easier while I'm actively not actively looking at the screen. And, ooh, look at that. Look at this one. There's like a... I saw this the other day, but like, look at all the foil that got peeled off the top of that. But yeah, Well, it's not like I won't send y'all some other stuff one of these days too, because I appreciate what you do. And as you've seen, I have a lot of extra random stuff that I don't mind giving away anyways. Like so many extra promo cards. Jace's gonna get that Glaceon one of these days. I can't manage to hang on to more promo cards because there's like just I'm like running out of space for certain things. And Jeremy, I don't really sell, but if you're looking for certain cards, especially like Master Balls or Pokeballs for Prismatic, first of all, I'm really sorry that that's the set you're trying to master set because that is going to be very difficult and stressful for you. But yeah, feel free to follow me and DM me. I'm looking through my bulk and my like rares for some other things, and I would be happy to like try to help you out if you have or if I have anything that's on your list, and I would sell it to you at like at or below market price. Honestly, some things I'll just say pay shipping for, but things like Master Balls I might need to like charge a little bit for just because there is a little value there. But yeah, overall, happy to help. Just DM me and I'll see if I can't find anything you're looking for. Happy to try to connect you with another collector that might. And thanks for the follow. I'm not just trying to scam you into following either. Like for real, DM me and I'll get back to you at some point, like in the next couple days. That'd be the worst too. It's like, oh yeah, follow me, and then I just like ignore you forever. I'd feel so bad about that. I'm sure there's other people out there that have done things like that, but I don't want to be that guy. And let's see. I'm like almost through all of the bulk that I had on my desk, and it's gonna feel so good. Like it's like taking a shower after like going for a really long run or something. Speaking of which, I need to go for a really long run this week, and I'm not looking forward to it. While I've been out of work for a couple months, I was so burned out. I'm like, you know what? I gotta let myself go a little bit and just relax for a while. And so I'm like the most out of shape I've been in like probably a decade, which really isn't that bad. I just haven't been working out like 5 times a week. And so going for a run is going to hurt, and it's going to be brutal. I'm going to have to take a couple weeks to get back up to running a 5K because I'm just going to be winded so quickly. But it was honestly worth doing nothing for a couple months, and I gained like 15 pounds, but I was underweight because I was so stressed at my last job. I lost like 10 pounds. So it's the first time in my life where I had like a license to eat and I didn't have to worry about anything. So I have been eating all the junk food for like the last couple months, and time to reel it in because my pants started to get tight. But it was streak and scratch ding. Oh man, that sounds like a bummer. So it was that the Sylveon SIR that had that manufacturing defect? Also, let me go in the other room. I'll show you the manufacturing defect I got the other day. I'll be right back. You want to go outside? Come on, let's go outside. You do. There you go. My dog demanded to go outside, and then she just barked to come back in. She can chill out there for a while. She's been next to me all morning. So manufacturing defect, let's see. If you look at the top right of this card, that is printed in the actual ink. It's flat. There's no raised surface. There's no rip. It's just like, I don't know what happened with this print run, but like, I've never seen anything that weird before on a energy card. So I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah, this one. But like, I've never seen anything that on an energy card that looks like that before. So very curious I might post it on Reddit. It seems like there's like a big subreddit just for misprint collectors there. So I might see if anybody wants to take it off my hands. Otherwise, I'm just going to like leave it to the side and say, hey, look at this weird energy card. Thanks for sharing the live guy that exists. Also, every time I read your screen name, I laugh a little bit. There was one guy that kept joining my streams that like I had to like not say the name, but I kept laughing because it was DEEZ something else, and so like I kept laughing because I could tell they wanted me to say hello to them on the stream, and I'm like I can't say that. And yeah, Steve, did you miss this print error? Let me get up to my top camera there. Sorry, I have my camera super overhead right now to do the sorting, but that's straight up printed on this card. Like, it's completely flat on the card, too. At first, I thought it was just a rip or, like, something like a crimp error. But no, that is printed ink on the card, all weird and weird. And I don't know what the value is for those kind of misprints, but I did hear there's, like, a whole sub-community of Pokemon collectors that specifically collect weird misprints. D's Nougats. That's actually a good screen name. Somebody should make one of those. I always remember like back when I was like we'd do LAN parties when I was like a teenager, and like everybody would like make the most ridiculous screen names at the LAN party, and then we'd all just like giggle like the 12-year-olds that we actually were. But let's be honest, like if you do that kind of thing today, you're still giggling for the same reasons. Collect misprints and swirls. Oh yeah, I forgot there's like a specific swirl pattern on certain cards too, isn't there? Item cards. You know, I don't know why I never thought to put the text of what the sorting tray was that I use onto my actual live stream until today. Like, I feel like that has solved a lot of people's questions right off the bat when they jump on the live. Normal swirls and galaxy swirls. Got you. Yeah, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to master set anything before I start getting into more obscure collecting. I'm considering master setting Phantasmal just because I think I have almost all the cards already for that set. But I respect the heck out of all y'all that do stuff like try to master any sets with Pokeballs and Master Balls. That is unhinged collector behavior right there, and I'm here to watch you do it. I'm just not here to do it myself. I've been scarred so badly by Prismatic, there's just no way I would try to master set something that has Poke and Master Balls in it. And Commander Canned, thank you for joining. Damn, 90K followers? That is awesome. Thank you for jumping in here. Appreciate hanging out with us. We are just chatting Pokemon and random life stuff and then watching me sort cards since I did enough live streams this week where I ran out of room for bulk on my desk. So just kind of hanging out and sorting and getting a start to the morning since I've still got 20 minutes until the Team USA hockey game starts. Let me fix these stacks real quick before I topple them over. Which Sylveon? I'm just laughing because the typo said stove on. And earlier, I have a Shiba Inu dog, and she looks kind of like an Eevee, and I was stacking my energy cards, and I dropped a fire energy on her, so I'm gonna guess that when she comes back in from going outside, she's going to have evolved into a Flareon. She was pretty offended that I dropped an energy card on her, though. And good morning, unknown user. How you doing this morning? Is it morning for you, or is it afternoon? It's almost afternoon here in Vegas. And thanks for the follow, Trout Dog. I don't know why in my head, I feel like that username is, like, funny, but I don't know why. 11:49. Oh, you're on the West Coast like I am, then. I think we talked about that the other day. I might have just totally forgot. I would say it's been a long week, but honestly, the most effort I've put into anything this week was doing a bunch of lives ripping Pokemon cards, so, like, man, I wish that was my life. Like, where I could just do that all the time and get paid as much as I do working in tech. That's the asterisk. I could totally probably do this. I would just not be able to afford all the Pokemon cards I open for myself the same way. And like every time I'm like, I'm gonna think about rip and shipping, I'm like, no, because my chase card is gonna show up the moment I start rip and shipping. I'll like the first time I open Black Bolt White Flare, somebody else is gonna get the red Victini I've been chasing since that set released. So I can't do it. I can't, at least not yet. Not till I get a couple of chase cards I'm looking for. Maybe if I ever see a God Pack for Ascended or Prismatic, then I'll like feel good enough to just like be able to rip and ship myself. 419 of 447. Okay, very. Thanks for the follow, poll, and play creative. But also curious, Jeremy, which cards are you mostly missing? Is it Master Balls and Pokeballs, or is it every Evolution SIR? I'm just curious how the distribution of rares has gone for you, because I'm like 500 something packs in, and I've only had 2 Evolution SIRs, and one was. I might actually go grab it to show you how off-centered it was. Oh wow, I gained a ton of followers today. I appreciate y'all a ton, and couldn't do this all without you. It takes a village to get enough interactions to actually make these lives lively, and so really appreciate it. And I like to think that we have fun chatting on these lives, and obviously I'm gonna have lots more live content going forward. I may start to stream video games here and there as well, since I have a whole Elgato capture card and a TV next to my office desk here. I have like the ultimate nerd office. It's not big enough to be called a man cave because we have a pretty small house, but oops. But yeah, I have a Switch 2 and PS5 to the right of my triple monitor setup for my desk, and all of my displays on my actual desk are. One of them's a LG 5K display, and the other one's the Apple Studio display. So I have 2 5K displays, and the MacBook Pro laptop monitor is always sitting open. So I have a lot of screens. And then I have a lot of shelves. That's like literally this entire office is just screens on one side and then shelving on the other. And then there is Pokemon stuff everywhere. I gotta really deep clean this office next week. Let me see. Leafeon, Jolteon, SIR, missing 2 other evolutions. And what games? Jace, I was thinking about starting with Pokemon Legends ZA since I have barely turned that game on yet, and it seems very topical for the other niche stuff I content create here. But yeah, outside of that, and yeah, I don't know. I might do another playthrough of Expedition 33. That game's been living rent-free in my head since I played through it the first time. Like, it's probably one of the best games I've ever played, like, to be quite honest. Also one of the saddest games, if not the saddest game I've ever played. And Defect Sylveon. So Jeremy, I've heard that there's like a subreddit that's very interested in defects. So I would check out if you can find that and see if anybody might be interested in it or something. That's probably the first place to check. But yeah, at least you got some of the evolutions. It actually seems like you got a decent amount for that. Give me 1 second. I'm going to show you my evolution. Okay, so first off, thank you for blocking random user bot troll. So first off, for this Booty Chew, look at how off-center this is. I was so bummed out when I pulled this myself, and then I was like, this is an automatic PSA 8 because it's that off-center. Like, it's so bad. I don't think I've ever seen a more off-centered SIR. But it's still a great card to hang out in my binder. So it just sits in my binder. I have my binder just for those reasons. This was a bummer too, because it was right on the line of a PSA 9 to 10. And I said it wasn't worth sending in and gambling on it because it was that close to being 55 or past 55-45 on the left-right centering. But hey, compared to Booty Chew, That Vaporeon is very well centered. Like this thing is just bad. The fact that you can just see this from like any kind of image and instantly know that that's not going to be close to a 10 is like, okay, that's like one of the worst centered cards. But it happens. But that's my luck, right? Like every time I pull one of my chases, I feel like it's centered like this, except for Mega Charizards. I've had every one that I've pulled has been almost perfect, and I've been so surprised about that. But I at least honestly that I pulled these after I learned the hard way about how the centering grading standards are, because when I first got back to this hobby, I was kind of a noob. I submitted some cards that if I had done the same, or if I had ripped them today, I would never have submitted to PSA. Latias SIR from Surging is off center too. Is this the SIR? Or is this the one you're talking about? Because this one's pretty off center. Oh, I gotta fix this one. It's not in there right. I think this one's bottom skewed. Yeah, or it's bottom heavy. IR. I didn't realize there was one above that one. That IR is worth like more than most of the SIRs in most sets. Oh, gotcha. That's right. That's what you were saying the other day. But yeah, so I just organized my binder. So I have all my SIRs in one binder. I have like all my shinies and I think full art trainers in another one. And so I've just been on an organizing kick lately since I'm going back to work full time, and I'm probably not going to want to do it after that. Let's see. And thank you all for the follows and joining this morning. Really appreciate it. We'll probably go, I'm almost done with this last stack, and then I'm going to get ready to watch hockey in a minute here, so I'll probably end in a few minutes, but cannot thank y'all enough for hanging out with me this morning, and thought it was actually some fun conversations, and y'all got to see lots of sorting. And so if you're into that ASMR kind of stuff, then I'm sure it was pleasant for you as well. And we'll be back to ripping packs probably tomorrow on a live stream. I'll probably do it afternoon-ish tomorrow. Like I said, my fiance is off from work the next couple days, and I'm sure she's going to want to spend some time together since she's been working a lot. So I'll kind of play it by ear, but I'll at least sneak in a little bit of a stream tomorrow. And maybe I'll see if she wants to just sit with me while I do like a quick 30 or 60-minute stream tomorrow. And that will make her happy because she likes to jump on the stream sometimes. She just doesn't like it if I ask her to like jump in a video when she hasn't like when she like literally just woke up or something, like, you know, girl stuff, makeup stuff, that sort of thing. And she's not like high maintenance where she has to have like a full face of makeup. It's more like if she like just woke up, she's not going to be like, oh yeah, just put me right on camera. Whereas I don't care. I'll be like, whatever. Do you have a Discord we could share? Oh, you know what? That might be a good idea. Maybe I should start my own Discord. I never even thought of that till like literally right now. So let me look into that. I need to figure out how to do that on Discord. Like I have a Discord account, so it can't be that hard to start a server. But then, yeah, I'll definitely figure out how to do that, and then probably post it on my lives and in like whatever channels. Oh, and I can put that Discord link. I finally started a link tree, also because the startup that I've like kind of co-founded is kind of a competitor to Linktree in certain ways. So I wanted to play around with it in more detail. So you'll see that's like the main link on most of my socials now, and currently it just links to all of my socials again. So like if you're on YouTube and you want to see my TikTok, it's easier to get from one place to another. But I can put links to my Discord in the Linktree link too. So I'll definitely look into doing that next. There's a lot that goes into this content creation stuff when you're first starting out. Like just figuring out OBS for live streams is like a whole side, like part-time job in a lot of ways. But once you get it set up the way that it works well for your setups, then it's really not bad. Like now I also got a Stream Deck. So like, look, you can see just my face now, and I can just press one button to, oops, that was the wrong one. Here we go. The other one is when I have it on the POV cam. I flip this camera upside down because it's easier to handle in front of my desk that way. But yeah, I'm slowly starting to get into like all the right streaming tech equipment stuff. So got the Stream Deck. I got the right cameras for webcam stuff now, and then like I said, I even got a Elgato capture card that does 4K HDMI 2.1, so that I can do like actual 4K 120 streams. If not yet, but in the future when there's a streaming service that supports that level. Do I play Pokemon Go? I do not. I played it back when it first came out, and then when it first came out, it was 2016, right? I was gonna say I was living in a place where I couldn't find Pokestops, but that's not true. I think I just didn't feel like leaving my house often enough to like compete in that game well. Yeah, I guess I could do especially with the Meta glasses, I could probably do like at least an Instagram live for something like that. If I decide to wait in lines next Friday for Ascended Heroes, I'll consider also live streaming some of that through my glasses to like Instagram or something. I don't know. I'm curious how waiting for Ascended Heroes is even going to go next week, because GameStop's no longer a place that'll probably have long lines because they're not selling at MSRP. So it really, and like I said, at least here in Vegas, Walmart and Target, MJ Holdings will just restock on random days, usually Wednesdays. So it means the only local place that would be like really ready to have MSRP stock is Best Buy, and I feel like that's creating quite a bottleneck. That said, I might actually camp out in front of Barnes & Noble. That actually might be a better idea than Best Buy, because everybody in Vegas is going to sit in front of Best Buy on Friday. But Barnes & Noble will at least have some of those ETBs on Friday. So, I don't know. I might try it. Then I might try going to a Dollar Tree or something, because sometimes they'll have stuff, but they usually don't have brand new drops on brand new sets. So, I don't know. I've learned a lot about where to go and what days to go and what to avoid so far. But still, it's a lot of luck and a lot of how many scalpers got there before you. That's the worst part. Let's see. What's platform starting cart? Yeah, so that's the name up at the where my finger is right now, the BCW Safe Sort. You can get it on Amazon. It's about $25-$30. I like most things about it except the size. I wish it had another row and another column, but I sent that feedback to BCW. They said thank you, they appreciate it, and hopefully they'll consider it. They better, because I would buy another one if they made a bigger one. But yeah, I honestly wouldn't sort cards if I didn't have a tray, because this makes it so much better. Except I'm running out of space. Let me move this guy somewhere. I have like the Leaning Tower of Darkness type Pokemon cards in background here. All right, I'm almost done, and it's almost time for me to jump off anyways. So let me just wrap up this deck. Sam's Club's Prismatic. Oh, nice. We don't have a Books A Million here in Vegas, because I know that's another place where people have good luck, and so I was looking for one, and nope, not here at least. But yeah, Prismatic SPC is allegedly going to be on the 24th, Tuesday the 24th of February. And what I found out after this last drop is that Sam's Club has a Facebook page specific to each local Sam's Club. So you can actually go and find the one that has the address for your closest Sam's Club. And the day before, so on Monday afternoon, if your Sam's Club is going to have those SPCs, they will post onto that Facebook page. Because they did that for this last drop and the drop before that. And when there was that one drop where they did the ETB with the Pokeball bundle and only like half the country got it. Well, if I had known that you could look at a Facebook page ahead of time, then I wouldn't have gone that morning and gotten up at like 5 a.m. to go try to get Prismatic ETBs, only to be told that they didn't exist in Vegas. So that's what I learned recently is go follow and check that Facebook page for your local Sam's Club before you decide to plan to wait in a line that might not exist at your Sam's Club. And Wonked, BCW Safe Sort. It's the tray name is right here in the text there, so you can buy it on Amazon. It's 25-30 bucks. I need them to give me an affiliate link so I can make 8 cents every time I tell people about this tray, because I've told probably 500 people about this tray so far, and they better make me the bigger version because I've told 500 people about this tray so far, though. And yeah, absolutely happy to share. It has been one of the most like life-changing things for my whole Pokemon sorting process, and I will always recommend this thing. Sold my bulk 4,000 cards for 16. No, that sounds about right. Bulk, you'll never get a ton of money for bulk. Usually a shop will just buy it so that you will agree to spend some money there. So yeah, bulk is just that. It's bulk, and some places will actually buy it from you based on the weight of the bulk that you give them. So like that's how much like it's not worth anything. But it's always worth sorting through it in my opinion, because let's see. Out of all the bulk that I've sorted through today, which is probably a minimum of 1,000 cards, we have found all of these hits. And some of these were on purpose because there were promo cards I didn't feel like sorting at the time. I was just getting lazy. But like there's some okay cards in here that I didn't even realize I had in these stacks. So it's always good to go through bulk and just make sure you didn't miss like a really big hit too, because especially in some of the older sets, like some of the cards, if it was a little bit humid when you opened them, could have gotten stuck together. Maybe there's an SIR that was in there that you didn't even realize. And 100 EX, I mean, average EX cards usually around 50 cents or so, so then it feels like they should have given you a little bit more for the EX ones. But it's not out of the ordinary. I mean, especially with the way that trades work and how much they'll give you based on market price, it's a lot of the less nice shops will give you maybe 50 cents on the dollar for most things. And the good shops will give you 70, 80%, but usually it's around 70. 25 cents, it's not the absolute worst. Depending on what they are. Like, N Zoroark from, like, the Journey Together, just the regular double rare card, is, like, a $2 or $3 card because it's very playable. But then there's, like, a lot of, like, EX or double rare cards that are worth, like, 10 cents, 20 cents, whatever. So yeah, it really depends on what you had in there. I know a lot of the EX cards, especially from the 151 set, are actually worth a few bucks. Mega Charizard double rare from Phantasmal's still in like the $3 range, even though that set's been out for a while now. So really depends on what the card is. A lot of the original 151 Pokemon, if they have a double rare card, are worth more. Honestly, some of the reverse holos and bulk from the 151 set has started to become worth something. Like, I actually pulled aside a bunch of my holos and reverse holos from 151 because the prices on those are starting to trend upward because of people that are trying to master set 151, and the fact that booster packs are such a premium these days. So you can kind of almost hold on to certain bulk these days and still do well with it. And thank you, the Island Pulls, for the follow. Appreciate it. And don't have that tray. Yeah, I totally feel you there. And I don't even sort by set right now because that's more work than I want to do. So honestly, I'm just like sorting by energy type and like holo versus reverse holo versus standard, just so that I can put them in boxes in case I want to go sort through them again later. But at least then I know, like, okay, I opened this in February of 2026, and this is fighting Pokemon I opened that era. And from Hawaii. And thanks, Wonk, for the follow. And able to get retail text sticker of. Oh, you pulled the N Zoroark SIR. Congrats, that is amazing. I have not pulled any SIRs from Ascended, and I've only opened like 12 or so packs so far. I'm not going to feed the scalpers that much with that set because I have so much on pre-order from local shops. So, and I'll have 2 Pokemon Center ETBs here by the end of this week or so. I will open one of the Pokemon Center ETBs for my TikTok Shorts content, as well as I'll do it in simulcast on a live. So anybody that wants to see me open a Ascended ETB, once I get the Pokemon Center one next week, I'm going to rip one of them. Other one I'm keeping sealed probably for a long time. I say that now, but let's be honest. I could open that anytime between the day after and like 10 years from now. And And yeah, so thank you for the follow from Hawaii. And yeah, how's the weather out there? It's pretty nice here in Vegas today, and I believe that we are known as the ninth island here in Vegas. Like half the people I know here are either Hawaiian, Filipino, or both. Also, just a side note on accents. I feel like the Hawaiian island accent and the Filipino accent are very similar, even though you all don't speak the same languages. It's just interesting how that works. It's just kind of, I guess, an island accent overall. Okay, so face camera is an Insta360 Link 2. It's the one that's actually got its own gimbal. So like if I press a button, it'll follow my face around my office. The one up here, like that's my top-down camera right now, is an Elgato Facecam 4K. I was using a GoPro for my desk cam before this, and it was terrible. This one, you can do 4K 30 or 1080p 60, and quality's okay. I need to figure out my lighting to make sure the exposure is a little better going forward, but yeah, overall, that's what I found works. I use small rig mounts, so I have a small rig mount that is one of those ones that clamps to your desk, and it's just a pole that goes up and down. And then I have that small rig thing that they always promote on TikTok. That's like the foldable camera arm. I have that mounted to the side of the pole so that I can go exactly top down. And then all I do is I lower the mount pole to its bottommost setting, and then I angle my camera a little bit forward, and then it's my POV view for opening booster packs. So it's really, really easy to like move this around like live during a stream. And sorry, I was not looking at Twitch and YouTube, so 1 second here. What's up, Nero? And sorry, War Eagle, I totally missed that. I am also American. Let's go Team USA. We're about to start versus Germany in a few minutes here. Yeah, it's about to start in like 5 minutes. Super excited. We better beat Germany today because the Canadians, obviously, I'm pretty sure won this morning. I shut the game off to do card sorting, but I was watching that earlier. And what kind of cards into? So I collect some Magic the Gathering. I don't really play it anymore because I don't have the patience, but some of the Universes Beyond sets. Specifically, when the Star Trek Universes Beyond set drops later this year, I'm going to collect all of that if I can afford it, but let's be honest, I probably can't afford it with those collector boosters being $1 bajillion. And all right, let's see. I got my item here. All right, I'm almost done, so I'm just gonna run through the rest of this stack, and then I will go watch my hockey game. But I am happy I finally sorted all of this because I've been procrastinating pretty bad, and it got a little bit unwieldy on my desk. I mean, imagine all this stuff in like just stacks on a desk. That's quite a bit of cards considering how many times I've switched out the bottom row. Support. Oh, I found another Pokeball. I always find Pokeballs in my bulk because I usually just penny sleeve Pokeball cards anyways. So I usually just kind of leave them in the bulk and then I find them again later. But every now and then I'll realize that it was a Master Ball and not a Pokeball. And that's always a good one. Oh, you're a Sharks fan? You will not like me then. I mean, I'm in Vegas, so I'm a diehard. I used to have season tickets to the Golden Knights, and we are rival enemies, although less so in the last few years. I have absolutely loved watching Macklin Celebrini, both this season and in the Olympics, though. He is the next Sidney Crosby. He is one of the best players I've seen. I mean, the fact that he's 19 and scoring goals in the Olympics is absolutely insane. They all said that about Connor Bedard out of Chicago, then that guy is just not even close to as good as Macklin Celebrini. So you got a really great future as a Sharks fan. And maybe you'll finally get your cup. Oh, that's awesome. That's a great area. My buddy who works in the Bay Area lives probably pretty close to you. He's more in like the rural or the area of San Jose that has all the single story houses. He just renovated his house. He basically did a from the frame up rebuild of his house, because it was, for whatever reason, way cheaper to do that than actually buy a new house in San Jose. So he made his like 1,100 square foot, 1-story like ranch house into a 18 or 1,900 square foot house. He's a group product manager in the Bay, so he does very, very well because his wife is also like a pretty high up director somewhere in the Bay. I'm not sure exactly where it is. I'm going to watch the game in a minute. I'm not too... It's still preliminary, so I can miss the first part of the game and not be upset. And I am on a roll here. This is the last of the cards I have to sort, so I'm just going to get through these next 20 cards, and then I'll call it. You know what I miss about... last time I was in the Bay Area, this was many years ago, I was there for this guy's wedding I was just referring to. There was a pizza place in, like... downtown Palo Alto called Pizza My Heart, and I don't know if it was just that I had a lot of drinks that night, but like I had like a slice of pizza there that was like the most delicious pizza I think I've ever eaten. And I'm from the East Coast, so I should not be talking about pizza on the West Coast that way, but man, there was like a slice I had there. It was so good. It is everywhere now, really? And from what I remember, there was only a couple of them when I visited that place. And then my buddy was at the time a manager for that chain Tender Greens. He since moved back to the East Coast, but he was out in the Bay for a little while trying to make it in the restaurant industry there. I'm like, bro, that's like, how do you afford to... Where do the people that work in restaurants even live in the Bay Area? Like, well, the answer is they probably live like in a 10 by 10 room for $5,000 a month. But yeah, okay, so I officially sorted all of the cards that were on my desk. This was a lot of cards, honestly. I ran out of space to put the cards afterwards. So probably sometime tomorrow I'll be back to rip some more packs. And yeah, I really appreciate all of the interactions today. There's been a ton of people on this stream pretty regularly today. So really appreciate all the interactions. Appreciate all the new followers I got. And I do stuff like this very regularly. I also tend to just give away random product to some of my most highly interactive followers on my streams. So yeah, if you like my streams, you like what I talk about, definitely come watch me rip some packs in the next couple days. And then as I rip more packs, I'll also do more of these sorting streams as well, since I use these for my live content, and then I simulcast pre-recording my booster pack rips when I'm doing them live, also for like better quality TikTok and YouTube shorts. So I'll actually have my phone and a second mic set up just so I can do like a 4K quality short on my iPhone 17. But yeah, appreciate y'all, and thanks again for the follows and interactions. Follow each other as well. We got a great community here, I think, in my opinion, of regulars that are all really cool people. So yeah, if you're around tomorrow, I'll catch you tomorrow, and if not, I'll catch you next time. So I will talk to everybody soon, and till then.